Holy crap, that's loud.
You heard that. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's all they did. All right, that's all they did this time. All right, hey, Ken is
What's
back.
up, man?
Little Army WTF moments guy talking with
That's
Big
right.
Sarge, all that good stuff. Got murder cult stuff in the back. Dodgers fan, unfortunately. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you been, man?
I've been great. I was much better until about midnight last night when the Giants lost to my brother's Angels. But other than that, we're good, man. Before we get going here, as always, it's another daytime recording like we did with Sam last weekend. So we're gonna do a little daytime action. I have the High West, the Noble Share.
Mm.
This is a blend of High West rye and I don't know, Rawson something. It's some MGP 4 to 10 year old whiskey blended and then finished in these Marquez de Casanobles Anejo barrels.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
this
Mm.
stuff's good. This
How
stuff's
about
really
this?
good. So we're not gonna drink too much of this. It's a little high proof. Where we at? Right there, at 104. Not too bad.
104. Yeah, I was about to say. I
Yeah,
thought it was up there.
it's there. And then I'll go and I'm gonna smoke me a little old fashioned here in a bit. A little
Oh
maple old
man.
fashioned. We'll do that.
But
But
now
anyway,
I feel bad because I'm just enjoying a nice warm mug of a stocking mill in a stocking mill mug with a touch of Bailey's and just chilling. You know what I mean? So
nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's a good way to start the day.
oh,
Oh,
the caramel. Have you ever had the caramel? I when they did their flavored blends, I don't know, a while back, they're 5 pound bags. I always buy like, you know, one 5 pound bag for this flavor, that wig splitter, whatever flavor they have out there. I always buy it in 5 pound bags because that way I can, dib and dab it a little bit. But
and
yeah,
dab.
it's
Yeah.
yep.
I got the eggnog and Eddie sent me a little hand note. Like I didn't know you were gay. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, dude, his notes are hilarious, man. I actually
yeah.
I have on the shelf and there are just several notes that he sent one every time I order
Funny.
something.
It's funny.
Don't be
The
a dick.
eggnog
Like,
was like the smell of that eggnog one cooking was delicious. I don't remember. Are you team eggnog? Are you an
yes, I'm a
eggnog?
nog, all the
Nice.
nog.
He is team nog. There we go.
I
All
am team
right.
nog, all the nog.
All the nog. Yeah, I still got a bottle of the I get that big giant benchmark one from ABC over winter, and
Oh
I
yeah,
have some in the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
fridge. It's still good because the alcohol one lasts. You get regular nog, and stuff's done in like a few days. You gotta chug it.
yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
not there's people like I did this with Terry when I went down to watch his play of Misery. Like he had eggnog, but he didn't have the eggnog with alcohol in it. So I brought a bottle of that down when we recorded our little beach landing video of
Yes, that
yeah,
was that was
conquering
classic.
conquering.
Oh,
Yeah, so I
Terry,
left him with
love the man
that. That's a good gift for anybody in the winter or on Christmas. Give them a bottle of eggnog with liquor if
with
they
liquor. Yes,
if they
yes, of
if they're
course. If they
drinkers.
drink, if they're drinkers, yeah. And
All
then
right, man. So
or just be annoying and just give them eggnog anyways, whether they like it or
yeah,
not.
I mean that's true. I mean,
Just take it.
why just take it? It's eggnog. It's good for you. George Washington founded an entire country while drinking eggnog. Everybody knows that.
Exactly. Exactly. Him and his fucked up grill. So
Well, he had wooden teeth, right?
yeah, yeah. Supposedly, yeah.
Allegedly. Yeah. Have you been up
Allegedly.
there to the Mount Vernon to his estate? Have you done that?
I've passed around there, but like I said, to me, it's always been a pass through event going up in
Yeah.
the, up there. And to me, it's just, you know, yeah. That's oh yeah, that's cool. I think it's oh shit. Well, I ain't got no time. I gotta get going.
Yeah, no, it
So
is cool. I took my daughter there 2 years ago, and then to his distillery that he had at the
mhm.
time,
Yeah,
which it's a pretty cool story about the distillery. I mean, it's obviously if you look at it now, yes, they've maintained it, they produced some stuff there, but it's not really what he was doing with it. Because I guess he did it later in life, and he never really realized the profits or any of the,
yeah,
the the hard work that he put into the distillery.
right,
I want to
right.
say he left it to a family member,
I
and
think he did. Yeah,
yeah, they kind of just
yeah,
pissed it away. But yeah, no, it is really cool history, and it is a rant. Like you drive by the distillery, it's like, oh hey, just
yeah,
right there. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Exactly. You're like, oh
random.
damn, fuck,
It's pretty
George
random.
Washington.
Alexandria is pretty cool. That whole Mount Vernon, Alexandria area. I like Old Town. That spot's nice. But no, the his estate is right there on the Potomac. So you would have
Hmm.
thought like hanging out on the porch, which you can go sit there. You can porch max
Hmm. Hmm.
at a
Yeah,
view, man. And you would have
yeah.
been back there. What? I don't know. I can't do math. late 1700s. It's not a bad
Yeah.
view of Potomac.
Just sitting there looking around, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I'm gonna fuck this
Chop
place
down a
down.
fucking very
Yeah, exactly.
chop
That needs
some
to get
fucking
cut
trees
down.
down.
Yeah, that needs to get cut down.
Put this tree here.
And
Yeah.
you put some
Anyway,
grass out
I
here.
liked, have you done uh Monticello? Have you done Thomas
No,
Jefferson?
no,
Oh, that was
no.
very cool. That
Yeah,
was
yeah. Now, most of the stuff, like I said, I'm mostly around the DC area, Alexandria area. That a whole, to me, it's like I don't. And this is fucked up for me to say because I'm sort of kind of a history buff, but it's like it never crossed my mind that like, oh shit, that those places are there
yeah,
while I'm there doing other stuff. Like I've not
right.
made it out to go out, driving up to DC, and then you're like, oh yeah, there's the big Masonic Hall driving by, and then I'm like, shit, I'm going to swing by to get there, and then something will end up, freaking changing my plans, and I'll end up not going or whatever.
Yeah,
So
there's a lot here in Virginia that I just still haven't figured out a way to go see. Because I'm pretty locked in
it's
throughout the week, and then just on the weekend, I'm like, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, not
Like I was
yeah, well,
way
not so
more
much.
of an explorer in California. I would just drive anywhere up and
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
here,
hell
I'm
yeah.
just like, because I hate the traffic.
Yes.
It's never
Yes.
ending
Yes.
here. At least in
No.
California, you get off the highway and you can just get out on some of those back highways or those back
Well,
roads.
you could also, yeah, you could also road rage and wave your gun around and
Yeah.
bust some caps on people, and nobody will right. Yeah,
I guess I could do that here.
well, I don't know. Yeah, is that well? Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, yeah, maybe you can now. You could bust some caps out there,
Yeah.
but
Because I still want to get out. Who's the other guy? That's right. He's got a house, if about an hour. I don't know if it's Jackson. Is it Andrew Jackson? Can't be. Is it? Maybe. I don't know. I sound really well prepared, but there's another house I need to go see. But Monticello is really cool because he's got that underground like refrigeration system that they
mm-hmm.
built in there.
Yeah,
Like that
yep,
stuff is pretty wild. Like
yeah,
I'm like, we peaked so long ago. We've got a lot of cool shit. Like we got everything in the world on this
yeah.
right here. Right. But I'm just saying, like there's
But,
just
hey,
stuff
but
we
I
don't
don't
know
even
how to do anymore.
I
Like,
don't even think we have the brain trust to come up with some
no,
shit like that now. You know what I
no.
mean?
Yeah. When I first saw that, I was like, wait a minute. This dude had ice underground? And like they would just bring it down and go down and bring some ice.
It's hot as hell out here. How the hell did he bring this ice without melting or some shit?
No, yeah, like that stuff blew me away. Like there's some really cool history that there's people just don't understand or know.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that like about
Speaking of,
education stuff. Yeah.
let's go present day. What's I know we talk about this in the chat a lot, but where are you at with the DoD as it stands right now? Like you got obviously Hegseth, he's still feeling his way in. We got leakers getting marched out of the building every day, it seems. He's trying to bring people in who are back who were kicked out for COVID, but the wording's not really advantageous to those who were kicked out. Like, so where are you at on that stuff?
I always give it an administration, even the last one, even
Yeah.
Trump, even the Biden one, even Trump 1.0, and then Obama. I mean, well, because now, I mean, this new Trump, I don't know. I will say it's like it's like Coke, old Coke and new Coke,
Yeah.
or new Coke, new Trump. But and then of course Obama, and I made some comments about this before. It's like in some aspects either administration was okay on defense on some aspects,
Yeah.
but it was always who they picked to run.
Mhm.
And I'll say, I mean, like I said, like we're saying, me and you, we joke around a lot with the guys, and we say full stop, full stop. We joke around with full stop, and we're like, dude, stop saying that. It's you got the congratulations, you got the gig.
Yeah.
You don't. There's no need to keep. I don't want to say politicking. There's no need to run on a campaign anymore. You got the gig.
Yeah.
Let's get to work. Now as far as who's been in place or who's been running whatever. I think it's not uncommon for an administration to have people that are with them. I mean, it's proven. You've seen it when Obama was elected, everybody freaked out and said that he's firing all these people. These
Firing
people
all
are
the
just
generals.
leaving. Yeah, firing all. Yeah, the purge.
Hindsight would have been great if we actually did that. But anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, but think about it though. I mean, he did what any other administration would do. Hey, these guys are my supporters, they're my backers. These are the guys that I want on my team. These are the guys that are, that I've worked with or whatever, and they're going to come serve. And we always say this, and it's pretty cool. I don't want to say it's pretty cool, but the enlisted always have a, well, all right, fuck it. We got a new boss. That's the president. That's who he is. I didn't vote for him, or maybe you did vote for him. I don't know, but hey, I guess not. I guess that's who we have, and we just sucked it up and drive on.
Yeah.
But I think since Trump won, since the first Trump administration, it just seems like the officership just keeps escalating and escalating, and I'm like, guys, y'all need. I mean, I'll just put it bluntly. I mean, come on, we're NCOs. Just shut the fuck up and drive on, man. Just some of the things that you can't control, because the troops see it. The soldiers will.
Oh, yeah, especially now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially with social media.
Yeah, you can't hide that shit. So why do you think it's gotten that brazen? Like, how did we get to that? Like, I'm sorry that Trump put the wrong letter next to his name and you don't like him anymore. But I mean, like,
that's another thing too.
Right? It's like
that's another thing too.
To that point in the country where it's just like the officers are just like, yeah, you know what? I don't mean all, because there are still plenty who are very pro-Trump. The ones who are not feel so empowered to just vocalize that, as opposed to, like you just said, hey, we're supposed to be, regardless of who's in power, you're going to get another boss in a few years anyway. Like,
yeah, exactly. Just like the chain of command, change of commands. You have a change of command every 2 years. Right. We all know, hey, this fucking guy, I don't like him. I don't get along well, but he's writing my evals. It's still got to be professional, right? You can't just like go off and go, run buckshot. And that's the whole thing. It's like, I can always tell who the Trump supporters are because they're not the ones fucking opening their mouth. Does that make sense? I can tell the anti-Trumpers because I see their subtle jabs. I see their little comments, their snide remarks on US Army WTF Moments, on all of our media. I could see it. And I'm like, before it would have been like, hey man, we didn't post your shit. But then we'd be posting millions in comments every fucking day of people who are upset about the administration. But I'm just like, dude, your professionalism is your lack of professionalism showing. It's just, I mean, I get it. You're upset, you're pissed off about something, but I have yet to see, just like the Epstein list, I have yet to see anything what is wrong. Like, there has been nobody to come out to say, hey, look, if somebody came out and said, according to the to the DODI or according to the UCMJ or according to the Constitution, no one has ever laid out anything to me that says, yep, he's wrong for doing this, he's wrong for doing that, and there you go. That's him. It's illegal. No one's shown me that. No one has given me any example. And so it's when you say, why did it go up? Why do we see a ramp up of it? Is because we let the genie out of the bottle when Biden was elected and everyone was, this month, Trump's never coming back. He's never going to come back. So I'm going to go sit back and shit talk him for years. And we got comfortable. I mean, because we all, I mean, come on, we were shit talking. Well, I've known you for a minute. We've shit talked to everybody, so it doesn't really matter. But we were comfortable shit talking with everybody. It didn't matter. But the ones that are in uniform outwardly expressing their feelings towards the administration when he was Trump, 1.0, it was acceptable. It was everyone was with their pinky out, snub. Yes, make fun of the orange man, haha, Cheeto man. Yes. And then everybody's like, then when he gets elected, just like Eddie Murphy's joke, he fucking won. Everyone's holy crap, he won. But they didn't ratchet back their fucking rhetoric. And I get it. If you're in uniform, you can't fucking express your feelings. You can't get mad at what your soldier posts on Army WTF Moments, but yeah, your ass is freaking just going off on this administration. And it at this point, it's almost, I don't know, it's just fucking comical, dude. Just like, dude, shut up, man. It just, or ma'am, or whatever you want to call her. It's both.
But and when you go back to like what you were just saying about the policies and is there anything illegal? I mean, to be fair, he came in each time saying he was going to rebuild, make the army more, or the military in period, more lethal. Lethal word, right? Lethality.
Yeah.
It's not like he came in and is like, I'm going to cut all of these military benefits. I'm going to reduce troop pay. I'm going to reduce housing. I'm going to take away dual military citizen or dual military like BAH. I'm going to take it all away. I'm going to make the army and military smaller. I'm going to make it you have to get out after you don't get the
Hmm.
he's not done anything to make the military quote weaker. It's been the contrary. So I'm really at a struggle at this point in my life to think, what are you complaining about?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and, you know, and you bring up a good point too.
Not get into more wars, right? Like,
Well, yeah, and you bring up a good point. Malicious compliance started at Trump
yeah,
one, whether people
right.
realize it or not.
Yep.
Um, they said that he was going to do this, he was going to do that. I think that the military at the time that didn't like him were implementing some policies just to fucking piss him off or just to countermand or whatever. Um, but in different specific communities that we have in the military, because we have, I'll say it, we have that the infamous goon Twitter or the mule
Yeah, you got
Twitter.
all the you got a big mix, which
You have a big mix of little communities that we have.
yeah.
Like for instance, when he came in, the soft community benefited.
Mhm.
When but other elements of our military, I don't want to say didn't benefit, but it was almost like, hey, look, we're going to crush ISIS, we're going to kill them, we're going to do anything we can. Hey, soft, go get it. And then the rest of the military is like, well, I want to go get him too, you know. And then we're like, no, 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 you're gonna go chill, blah blah, blah, do your support thing, do all whatever.
Yeah.
We need you for this, we need you for that. And then Biden comes in, and then uh, everyone warned, everyone knew it was going to happen, that Ukraine was going to get invaded by Russia. Everyone kind of called it already, that you got to stand strong against Putin. Okay, well then what happened there? I'll be honest with you, it was an how do I say this? It was like a foggy moment for the military, because the military just seemed like to just do what it wanted. Because I mean, and it's now come out that the administration wasn't the like there was nobody strong within the administration. Everyone had their own little freaking stovepipes of their own little kingdoms that they wanted to build in defense, especially in the defense industry as well.
Mhm.
And so, no problem sending guys to go out and send more money. I mean, like you were saying, there was really nothing to complain about with this one, because there's with this Trump 2.0, because what's there to? I've not seen our benefits cut.
Nope.
I'm not. As a matter of
But he's
fact,
telling you, he said because he got rid of some VA employees that you lost your benefits. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got to look at my stubs, because I thought I got fucking raises. But anyways, and again, a lot of things that were happening, it's like its own. We the military, the Defense Department, it's its own culture in itself,
Mhm.
and so it was already. It's almost
Yeah.
like the stock market. It was already going to go the way it was going, anyways. People were going to be booted out
Yeah.
because people didn't, or resign because they didn't like who was in charge. Hey, that's been the Defense Department's history from the get. A certain general doesn't like a certain somebody in the administration. I'm out. Or they get a fucking gig working for 6 Hour, or they work for Colt or something like that, because oh yeah, I'm gonna go where the money's at. And
Or they be a
that
board member at Raytheon and then become the SecDef.
yes. Oh, with a big baller house. And I'll say this, full stop. Anyways, I'll say this.
God, it's the worst two words in
I
English
know.
language is full stop.
See, that's the thing, though, is that we break balls about that stuff,
Yeah.
about the little idiosyncrasies of full
Yeah.
stop. Okay, stop doing PT, bro. Let's get down to the weeds. We could say that, and no one's gonna like try to set us on fire in front of a fucking lawn because we made those comments. The last administration, you said anything and it was like, oh my God, you
Yeah.
said something against, oh, you shall be executed at noon. Oh, like you had the Inquisition happening because you made a comment that everyone was like saying already underneath their breath, no matter the party. Now, so a lot of it is polarized, that we have allowed it to get polarized and we have not enforced to kind of like ratchet it back. That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for that tug of everyone who thought they could just openly talk shit and keep going and keep going. And the SecDef, he's gonna get to that route. He's gonna get to the point. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. His comms needs a little work. I'll say this.
Yeah.
But he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. Next okay, now I'm gonna go after the motherfuckers that won't shut their fucking mouths.
Yeah, well,
And
that's what
stand
I'm
to.
waiting for is with you as well, because I get it. Early in the administration, you want to go out there and establish relationships, partners, and all. But I'd like him to kind of let's pull back on the travel for a bit, and let's like let's get to work for about 2 or 3 months, maybe a nice quarter, handling the internal shit.
Yes.
All of
Yes.
it. Because I was talking with, I don't know who the hell I was just talking with about this, but um, you got to go to the. We want to talk about like strengthening the military and get back to the lethality and all. We need to go back to the fucking ground.
Yes.
I'm talking Army basic training,
Yes.
probably across service. I don't know how the rest of the components, their initial entry training is, but I know for a fact that Army basic training since COVID sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like the soldiers that are coming from this has to stop. It can, and again, it can stop fairly quickly.
Yes.
Like it can
Yes.
stop a cycle, but you are not. You need to go revisit what the fuck Tradoc is pushing, what the actual drill sergeants and cadre are empowered to actually do,
Mm-hmm.
and re-examine what is actually going on just at the basic training level. Never mind once
Right.
they get to AIT where they feel empowered to fucking yell at platoon sergeants. Blows my fucking mind because
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish fucking private would when I was in those like that's
I
the
mean, come on. We
difference.
always had we all didn't. I mean, you did the gig. I mean,
Yeah.
didn't you have like lottery fantasies that a soldier would just try? A motherfucker would try. I mean, didn't you
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay,
How
yeah,
they all do apparently. Like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
complaints and the things that I read and hear and see and get emails on, and it's just it blows my fucking mind. But that's what I'm talking about. And it's like, and I know we talk about it in the chat too. I don't want you to go to fucking Fort Bragg's fucking DFAC where they've got every resource in the fucking world. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to go to Fort Benjamin Harrison in Montana
Mm-hmm.
drill weekend and look at what those soldiers get for fucking food on a
Mm-hmm.
weekend, and then look at the price.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's breakfast. How are the sausages appearing? Like, why do they look like they were cooked 2 days ago?
Yeah,
Are
exactly.
these are eggs?
Right, right, right. And it,
The coffee line coming from the machine just full of pounds. And then if you are not like, if you have to pay for that, like, you're an officer, you're gonna go with your soldier. $15
right.
for fucking breakfast at an
Yeah,
army
exactly.
dining facility?
That you're going to get just like, I don't know, maybe a couple spoonfuls of chow.
Out of the economy for cheaper.
Yeah, yeah, maybe two people.
Right. But that's what I want to say. Like, don't tell me how cool Fort Bragg is. I get it, man. I've been there, I've seen it. Even most civilians have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I get it. It's the fucking,
Yes.
it's the center of the special operations world and the airborne world. There's way more. There's
Mm-hmm.
way more that needs
That's
your
that. That's what. I mean, you bring up a good point. That's what I wanted. That's actually what I kind of wanted to see at the beginning. It's like, okay, he wrote he has seen. I know he has seen
Yeah.
the memes, the jokes, us go, everything that we. I mean, come on. I wouldn't doubt it that he's a WTF Moments follower as well.
Oh, for sure.
And we all.
He knows it is.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, but he breaks. I mean, he sees us breaking balls. He sees us talking shit. We even tag him on some of the posts that we do. But you're right. The big wave top stuff, I think, could have happened maybe. I don't know. I mean, when you kind of think about it, we're only in April, dude.
I know. We're just coming up on 100 days, right? Which is always
yeah. We're only which is the big thing. I like you were saying. I get the whirlwind stuff, and I get the meeting of the partners, but I think it would have been more of an impact to the troops to say, fuck, dude, I'm not getting paid for this amount of money. Like to have a fucking town hall, like to sit there and go to he did it. He did it.
Be a good idea. Sure.
He did it at the DOD level, right? Or the Pentagon level.
The first week or something.
Yeah. And you can totally tell there's some people that are like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can see the faces, but there's soldiers out there that want to talk to him, want to go, hey, I want to know how come my, I don't know. I mean, this would be the opportunity. If you want to get to the ground level and doing PT with the Joes, then you better get at the ground level to find out why we're still using fucking goddamn cover sheets when on a program that doesn't need it. You know what I mean?
I take about my motor pool. I got fucking vehicles waiting for parts for over a year.
Yes, exactly that. Or barracks. Take me to the barracks, man.
Why? I mean, we've been talking about barracks and before I was in. So like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm sure it's. So how does that?
So something like that more in his calm shot. I'm gonna tell you, Sean.
Parnell?
Sean Parnell.
Yeah.
The comm shop, I mean, with the rapid attacks or the rapid succession
Rapid response,
of response stuff that let's put it this way. If you're going to have a rapid response cell, be rapid response, because our media has evolved to be so freaking rapid fire on anything and everything. Yep. You got to have a good cell to go in there and go, okay, so on CNN's talking about this. Task and Purpose is talking about that. Army Times is talking about this. Military.com is talking about that. Breitbart is talking about all these. Engage. Not have disjointed messaging across different platforms, which, by the way, don't just stick to X. Don't just.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Meemaw and Grandpa were the ones that got you voted. Your administration voted.
No, I see them on Blurb, but they don't put nearly as many posts out there.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I kind of poke around. I'm like, hey, this is only on Facebook. How come you don't put it on Facebook?
And I don't get Instagram or I don't use TikTok, so I don't know if they have a presence on that. Maybe they're waiting until sale on TikTok, but I mean,
yeah, probably because of that. But yeah, you're right. But like, for instance, going back to the basics. God, what was that? What was it a couple weeks ago? I showed you that picture of that fat drill sergeant standing in front of formation.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like that.
Yeah.
I thought, like, honestly, at first I thought it was like maybe it was an AIT graduation, and it's a little different but that's what I don't get, because I remember in my basic training we had one somewhat heavy drill sergeant, but he had just came off of profile. He just had like a leg surgery like 9 months prior. He was just now working his way back in. But other than that, dude, drill sergeants have a standard. You have to have a standard that's above the typical baseline, but the ACFT or whatever standard the Army does to get to the schoolhouse. Yeah. And then you're literally the standard for your soldiers. You have the groups. Like, I don't know who that fucking guy is. I know he's an E7. Maybe he's hurt. I don't know. Maybe he's on profile. There's a lot of shit I could ask. But one thing I wouldn't do is stand out in front of fucking soldiers on graduation in front of parents and friends and family. Would never do that. Yeah. Detail today. Like, you got CQ. Just fucking hang back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's imaging, right? Like,
exactly that. Exactly that. It's the image of the Army. When I joined and I saw my drill sergeants were not fat.
No,
they were fucking.
Dudes, they were fucking.
There was other. There were
even the females were fucking slim, fucking angry. Yes. First Sergeant Johnson. Well, I think she retired as a Sergeant Major, but yeah. Drill Sergeant Johnson, little fucking tiny female, angry as fuck, but she was fucking tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I've seen so many that are the opposite, and I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
So those basics that got to go back also have to be, like you were saying, basic training, because that's your first impression of an NCO as a drill sergeant right there.
That's it.
And then AIT, that's your I guess your more graduated, knowledgeable, technical knowledge of an NCO. If those two fucking fail, of those two, like you were saying, if those two links are weak, you're I mean, like I said, that drill sergeant in front of God and country on their Facebook page on that graduation. It wasn't like, oh, here's a sneak peek. Here's a picture of a fat drill sergeant.
So that was actually on the battalions or whatever the companies that was on their.
It was on their graduation page.
So that's a PA failure, because they should be right, because they're in charge of the messaging for that unit. Yep. Is that what you want to put forward?
Yeah, not a fat drill sergeant. No.
I mean, how many others were there available to teachers of post? It's not like there's only one platoon graduating.
Or what if there's not enough drill sergeants and they had no choice but to put them there? Those are the other questions that we always ask too.
I don't know how it is now, but I just remember, when I was on the trail, we lost many because of the surge. So we were doing a cycle with. We're supposed to have 12 drill sergeants. At the worst cycle we ever did, we had 5. At best, we were 8, maybe 9. But I would assume, based on op tempo, shouldn't be an issue having 12 drill sergeants who are the fucking standard. I mean, they literally brought back the pistol belt for a reason.
Yes.
Yes. We didn't have that when I was going, but when I came in, our drill sergeants all had it. And because of what is
they had their pistol belt, and they had to do the pistol belt, and then they did the BDU fold on the sides.
Makes it look like we were trying to look like fucking Marines again. Like
exactly.
This picture in Marine uniform.
Yeah.
Like never see fat Marine fucking drill instructor.
Nope. As a matter of fact, it looked like the Marine uniforms look like they've been tailor made. They've been tailor made
Yeah,
to
for
look like,
sure.
hey, for oh, okay, hey, look, you got a six pack. We're gonna tailor your uniform
Yeah, we're
better.
gonna
So
make it look like you
we're
got a
gonna highlight,
12 pack.
yeah, yeah, you're gonna make exactly a raw pack, hurrah,
Raw pack. You get that from the commissary.
So yeah, so like you were saying, a lot of it's messaging, but to go dig deep and even further, um, the ones that are openly talking shit about the administration just has to get over it, man. If it's not illegal, immoral, or unethical, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? So why bitch about that?
But and then again, I go back to I just wish that if we're gonna bitch, we should be bitching about the stuff you and I just spent 15 minutes bitching about. That's what I want NCOs
Mm-hmm.
or well, it's not the NCOs really doing it. That's what I want officers if they actually had any pulse on their
Yeah,
formations. That's what I want to hear
yeah,
them about.
yeah.
I want to hear them. I
Exactly.
want to hear them tag the staff and be like, "Hey, here's my issues with readiness or maintenance or a million other fucking issues. Come fucking
Mm-hmm.
do this shit and stop doing PT." Right? Okay, cool. That's what I would like to hear about because then you show me a
Mm-hmm.
commander who's engaged and actually gives a shit instead of,
Yeah.
well, you I don't think alike, and I'm going to send an email out to the entire base saying, well, I
Oh
don't.
man, yeah.
Eh. Oh,
Oh
for you, ma'am.
yeah,
Didn't
dude,
ask.
that one,
Fucking ask.
dude, that was. I will say, okay, that was fucking stupid. First off,
It's very
I mean,
stupid.
everyone's like, well, the soldiers standing up for that service person was a Space Force commander was standing up what's right for what's right. Hey, look, man, maybe what's right in your eyes, but according to Article 88 and
Yeah.
according to other policies and regulations, and you serving at the pleasure of the administration, dude, stop. We going back what I was saying. You couldn't say anything about the administration in uniform, the last one, without people going oh, blasphemy. Just like General McChrystal, whether you like him or not, said something that about Biden that he was like a fucking he was an idiot or stupid or something like that.
Yeah. And then
And he gone,
he
he
gone.
gone, he gone. And everyone's like, well, and everyone's like, but he's a great general. And even
Doesn't
I would
matter,
say
man.
even anti Biden leaders were like, yeah, well, you shouldn't be talking shit about the president, or you
No,
shouldn't be talking about the administration
no, I did
as a commander.
a fucking around a reporter.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, not only that, or sending a blast email to our fucking allies. Uh, I mean, look, in my time, I know you always rack about my age and stuff, but when I was a liaison,
back in my
uh,
day.
back in WWNM, and I was working the German partnership stuff, I was always asked questions about about George Bush and stuff like that. And I was always asked about Clinton, and I was always asked about the administrations. I just kept it professional, man. I said, "Hey, man, I'm a soldier. I just work here," type shit. I kind of like stayed off the argument. It stayed off the whatever because soldiers are soldiers worldwide when it comes to their leaders and stuff like that. I never talked shit about their leaders. I never talked shit about whatever. But it was always I always kept it a generic. Dude, look at that looks baller as shit.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm about to say, man, I feel.
No, keep going. No, you're right. Because I'm listening. I mean, it was the same thing. When I came in, it was like, oh, once we got past the whole, I don't know, the first 6 months of the invasion, it's like there was like an open window. It's like, oh, now let's just bash the president. Like the
Yeah,
whole patriotism thing, like post 9
yeah.
11, that had worn off. Now we're just,
Oh yeah, because when you think about it, it was 9/11, and then we did the invasion of Afghanistan. Everyone's rah 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 rah,
mhm.
and then the next thing you know, all right, guys, get ready to go to Poland, and we're gonna go and invade Iraq. I'm like, Iraq? What the fuck are we doing? Oh, I thought we were going to Afghanistan.
That's true. I don't know if I asked
Well,
about that before, but I was curious, like what guys like yourself who are way more senior and knew kind of how the shit was going down, the way the world worked at that time. I mean, that's why I joined. I hadn't, like I said,
no,
first,
you
my first eight
there was
months after,
everybody.
and then we were mobilizing to go to Iraq. I was like,
Oh,
I guess.
yeah.
But
Well,
I
see,
was an idiot. I didn't know any better.
I mean, we got the same shit that everybody else got. There was fucking connected ties to Al Qaeda on Islam, whatever whoever we want to call them at the time. Al Qaeda, this and there's made connections here, and they're making their way across across the Middle East, and you're thinking, oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. But you got to remember when 9/11 happened and we had the fervor of patriotism. I mean, come on, man. We were throwing dollar bills and fucking fireman boots and shit for people standing on the corner. Hey, you want to donate to support? We didn't know what the fuck where the money was going at. We were just throwing money because everyone was
I remember
like,
buying fucking Bin Laden like X over his face shirt.
yeah. Everyone was like, fuck yeah, fuck that
Man,
guy.
I'm going to fucking join. Fuck this. This is great.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, you're gonna go to Iraq. Wait a minute. I thought the motherfucker was in Afghanistan. You know, you're like, wait a minute. So, but then it became a, I don't know. It's just like you were saying, it immediately became Bush's Hitler. I mean,
and it was a very quick. It was a very
because we were like, okay, I can see us going to Afghanistan. I can see us going like that. I did have a couple friends that are like, they were probably more wise in their ways, except for me. I was, I was a Cold War kid, so going through and nothing happening during the fucking Cold War, and then finally, whew, man, thought I was going to retire before we went to a war or something like that. And not like these Gwat hideouts that fucking would join, and the next thing you know, you're wondering after 20 some odd years, dude, did you not go anywhere? Did you not even cross a berm? Did you not sit in a JTF at least? Did you not? What were you at? But yeah, it was one of those things where like, fuck yeah, that's the whole reason why you are in the military to begin with. You're there to, and of course, the reason why you join, as opposed to the reason why they're going to send you, are two different things. The reason why you join, like you said, could be anything: patriotism, getting structure in life, getting everything you need to do for to stabilize yourself, to gain some confidence. Everyone has their reasons to join, which I don't. Again, hey, you joined. The way I see it, you suited up and you fucking went in. Hey, I'm all for that shit. But then once it was time to go, and you had individuals like, well, I didn't join for this shit. Well, guess what? You kind of, when you may not have joined the shit, but the Army said, hey, you're going to do this shit. You can't fight it.
Remember that DD4 you signed? That's
yeah.
That was pretty specific.
Well, yeah. This should actually break it down even more. You will be killed if you go to. You may be killed or whatever linguistical choice you may have to get killed in combat. That's one of the things. So people were at that point were like, well, wait a minute, we thought we were going to go Kosovoing. We thought we were going to go in and bomb the fuck out of Afghanistan and Iraq. Not too much stuff going on. And we thought we're going to roll right in like K4 and cross the Sava River and say, I'm here, sir. And then you're good to go. I'm like, yeah, Eastern European loves us. We're all good to go. Walking around with ball caps and everything's all right. And then the next thing you know, what was his name? Fucking Zarqawi fucking started offing Americans off left and right. Yeah. And
Al Zarqawi had a different plan. Jordan. It was fun rolling through that part of fucking that country.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Jordan's a weird country. Like, they love us, except for Zarqa, because they're super authoritarian Islam. And that's where he was from, Zarqawi, al-Zarqawi, Zarqa. Yeah. Fucking wild. So that capped off.
So that capped off, and everyone was like, "No, fuck this! I'm not gonna be in it anymore." And then it became to where the military at the time got so. I mean, they knee jerked that fucking stop loss. Your ass is not getting out.
Yeah, we had two grumpy E5 that got stop loss, and they were reservists.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. You can open up your pool business there, Pauly Shore.
Yep.
Shout
out to $500 a month stop loss at the time. What was
it? They did that, and then all of a sudden they realized they didn't have enough money for it, and they stopped it. They stopped it and they also stopped it.
Money for troops pay, but we got 800.
Yeah.
For whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You don't have money for troops pay. Then how come I'm seeing that ridgeline getting blown the fuck up? How much money you got for that shit? But yeah, it's to go back to what I was saying. Those standards that you were talking about, we really have to break down. I'm gonna tell you what, too. Sarns, you need to put your fucking phones down.
Hey, Sarn. Yep.
You need to put your phone, because if your soldiers and your commanders are going to Army WTF Moments, they're going to a Facebook page and that's the audience dynamic we're seeing more shift now. It's more of a shift of soldiers not being told by their squad leaders or their platoon sergeants, because Big Sarge just sitting there trying to find out who that new hot S1 chick is on the gram. And I'll say it, dude. It's frustrating as fuck because I'm like, don't you all have sergeants? I have E9. I have sergeant major command sergeant major friends. I'm
Yeah.
like, don't you all have like sergeants there? Don't you all have NCOs? I've had senior leaders that are taking commands that are asking us for a command climate, sir. And for us, we take those. Let's look up what unit where unit you're going to. Oh, we're going to this brigade. Oh yeah, blam, and then oh wow, this is enlightening.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the fucking generation of NCOs that are coming in. I don't want to say coming in, but being mentored to be like. I'm gonna tell you,
mass exodus of well, I said this, okay, and I am a product of it, right? Like I was E1 to E5 in 2.5 years, 86 and barely 4, like right. So, but I wasn't the type who just it happened to. I sought that out. I was older
yes,
when
yes,
came in. I was 17 or 18. Like
yeah,
I already had some college, and I was, my story's been told on this fuck site a million times. But what I saw, I remember thinking when I went to PLDC, which is now BLC, or wait, what is it? Is it BLC?
BLC, yes, BLC,
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever the fuck they call it. I was like, "Hold, I'm gonna learn how to be a sergeant."
Yes,
I'm in
yes,
it. I learned how to and this was before computers and Control F. I learned how to find regulations and highlight stuff and tab it and go back. Like
wow.
I learned that, and I learned
My
I learned some basic DNC. I
yeah,
didn't
DNC,
learn
yeah,
sergeant,
yeah.
right?
I
And then ANOC or BNOC.
BNOC, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn how to be a squad. No, again, I learned how to find some shit in regs. I did some larger DNC.
Yeah. Now I put your ass in an extended rectangular
That's
formation and
right.
brought you
Now I
back,
know how to. Yeah,
and then marched you off the fucking
I'll
off
be
the
honest.
drive.
Like I really learned most NCO stuff in drill sergeant school. Like that's when I really learned how to be in charge of a formation or to
Yeah,
actually display like what actual command presence was, what a base
right.
of power was, like and why
Yeah,
you maintain those things, how you lose those things, all that stuff. And then
right.
and of course the stuff that I always learned was just like you're to learn how to be an NCO based on what you shouldn't do and what you should do based on the NCOs you had.
Yeah.
It's true
Well,
because I
yeah,
remember
well,
my first drill. I showed up as E1 private ski, and I went to my platoon sergeant, retired Command Sergeant Major Bertel. What up, Sergeant Major? Who was an E7, my platoon sergeant, and I said, "Hey, Sergeant, I'm private, whatever." He's like, "Private who?
mm,
If I need you, I'll find you." Like
mm-hmm.
that was my introduction to my
Yeah,
platoon. Like, and he
yeah,
was good one. Like it wasn't bad at all. It was just like it was kind of like, who the fuck are you to come to me without your squad leader or your team leader, right? Like it
yeah,
was that type of thing. Hindsight, he was right.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but that stuff's
It-
missed because, like I said, from the global war on terror, mainly Iraq, Afghanistan was a different entity, but we forced so many people through NCOAS. And I can't speak for the officers. I don't. Their shit's totally
oh
different.
hell no! They didn't rush those guys through. They got to leave. They got to PCS. They got to get out of. That was the biggest thing that pissed me off. Nothing happened to their PME. Nothing. I mean, they don't know a bridge. I mean, fuck. There are guys right now that I know, and I'm not going to dime them out because then I don't want the Army to come find out looking for them. There are guys that I know that never went to BLC because of the surge. They promoted them and they went through that and like, oh, I guess you don't got to go. And they continued to BNOC, ANOC, and some of them, may not be soon to be freaking select sergeant majors. They never went. The officer corps would never ever stop somebody for like company command corps career, the triple C, yeah, whatever, yeah, triple C, ILE. I have never seen the Army flex away from not sending officers. I mean, because remember back when we went to Iraq together, in the First Armored Division, and General Sanchez took off and he took over
Sanchez, remember that?
Oh, Sanchez, yeah. And so he stopped. He literally had to stop officers from PCSing. They left theater,
Yeah,
and they went to CGSC at the time they called it. They went to CGSC and they took off. And then they went to go do, and they took commands and all that sort of stuff. Meanwhile, their guys were slugging it out in Soldier City after they left. I'm like, everyone's like, well, this is messed up. His career, you're hampering that somebody's career. I always thought when there was war going on, a lot of shit got paused.
Yeah. So okay, there's so much to talk about here. There's so much. So if you got some more points, go ahead and make them real quick. But I was
just gonna say that the officer corps has always been given a more of a, oh, we need to think about the officers, as opposed to, oh, we need to think about why, private, why Specialist Smedlap, who just made sergeant, doesn't know how to do squad leadership. Oh, because we didn't send him to BLC because he just got back. We told him to fuck your dwell waiver. You're going back again, and then you wonder why this kid is fucking disgruntled and he fucking gets the fuck out.
Read your common task manual. It's right there.
It's right there. Where's your smart book at?
Where's your smart book? Oh, that's another thing bro, I did this research about a year and a half ago for a soldier we were trying to counsel, and I couldn't find in the newest common task manual where it actually says that you must come to the position of parade rest when dressing NCO. Like, it's been removed. Now, I don't know where we're at right now. I'm just saying about a year and a half ago,
that was
one of my squad leaders I'm like, go to the common task manual. It's in there. It's like, First Sergeant, it's not there.
Yeah. Well, if I would known we were going to do an arts and crafts, I would have brought my old leader book up here.
That's
what I'm saying. There was just like a lot of, I'm glad you mentioned that, because there's a lot of traditions that I think Big Sarge got involved that we now have to fucking do. Back when Sec Army Esper was saying no more fucking PT belts, no more fucking all this extra training, no more this. You still see motherfuckers wearing PT belts, and that's another thing too.
True. It's weird.
I was like, look, you've all groomed soldiers to follow orders and da da da. You have to serve at the pleasure of the president. Blah 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 blah. All right, then why is fucking Big Sarge telling soldiers to still wear PT belts after, I don't know what, 3 sec armies ago, you fucking said no more PT belts? Mm-hmm. The same thing with their online training. The same thing with cover sheets on an automated program that you could upload on your phone. The same thing. The standards of what true NCO core tradition, like for instance, I enlightened some individuals, and everyone thought I was like Yoda at the fucking fire when I said this. NCOs, you must learn. Yes, I'm a big Star Wars fan anyway. So everyone was talking about, why is it that you have a lieutenant general outranking a major general? Well, and this is what I learned in PLDC back in 1994. 1994, damn, that seems like
it was a while ago, bro. Only 31 years. Don't worry, you're good.
I'm so old. Anyways, so we used to have brigadier general.
That's what they would question, huh?
Well, not question, it was talking about how General von Steuben, the first Army IG, and the father of the NCO Corps, he was the one that brought institutionalized the NCO Corps, to professionalize them, to bring in standards, and gave a why. Why did we do this? Or why is it structured like this? Well, nobody fucking right now understands why a lieutenant general outranks a fucking major general, right? Well, that's because a one-star general at the time, roughly around the 16th and 17th century, there was a brigadier general, there was a fucking sergeant major general, there was a lieutenant general, and there was a captain general.
I read this book when I was sitting in Kuwait waiting to go to the invasion.
Yeah. You must have been Prussian history.
It's like it was a white book with red fucking lettering.
Yeah. And it was a historical fact.
The history of the NCO Corps,
the NCO Corps and
Bismarck,
ranks. And
I read a Bismarck book. All that cool.
So obviously, as ranks and as militaries evolved, the captain general and the sergeant major general dropped the sergeant major and the fucking captain part. So now we have a 4-star general. That used to be a captain general. Now we have a major general or lieutenant general. Now we have a major general because a sergeant major was dropped off, and you have a brigadier general. So it's little NCO novel. It's like everyone says it's useless information. Well, then it's not useless information if it's part of our history. If we all want to say we're the stewards of our profession, then
that's what we've lost. We've lost the heraldry. We've lost
exactly that. We lost the history. We lost why the reason why we have to have a little fucking book around. I don't need a goddamn book. I need somebody to tell me why something is like this. And Sergeant, I need you to tell me. I mean, this is me as a Joe. That's what sergeants need to be doing. Sergeants need to be more educated in that instead of just running through a 2-3 week fucking course. And it should be more professionalized. Our NCO Corps needs to be more professionalized. That's just mine.
No, and that's what, like, I don't remember entirely what I was going to say when I cut you off about 5 minutes ago because smoked beverage. But what I will say is it ties into that part. And we had such an exodus of, I guess you would call it middle management, right? Like your field grade officers, mainly majors.
Oh, that's the majors, yeah.
Yeah. And then you lost so many E6s and E7s who were like, meh. And so you had all these fucking kids getting promoted on the NCO side for sure. Who just aren't prepared because the PM is not, like I said, I gave you my own personal story. I'm one of the people who seeks out excess information. I don't just take what's there because that's just me. And I don't expect everyone to be like me. If you read one of those NCOERs I shared, according to my commander, the NCO Corps should be modeled after me. That's fine.
Standard senior rater reviewer stuff anyways. Standard.
I appreciate XO for doing your part.
Exactly.
So, but I got this new group, right? Because, they put this new push thing is where now you don't have to have BLC to make E5. You don't have to have ALC to make E6. You just need if you want to go to the next rank. I've had some good junior soldiers make E5, but why are you asking me basic shit, Sergeant? Now you're a sergeant. I need you to do this. I know you went to BLC. I know you did. Why are you coming all the way up to me to ask me the most basic shit?
Exactly.
And that's what, because I always go back to little Sergeant Ski.
Yeah.
I would never in my, unless it's like, oh my God, I just fucking have to go talk to the first sergeant. Like I would never do
exactly.
Right. But I'm also going to let 2 other people know before I get there. And they're probably saying, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
And here's it ourselves.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, those are the entities that you rarely see coming up through the ranks. Because I'll be honest with you, and everyone thinks that I'm old big sergeant when I think about this, but no, this is the way it was used to be, and it was effective. Is that you shouldn't pin until you finish your first fucking. You don't get sergeant until you finish fucking PLDC or BLC. That's it. You are held. You were held on that list, and
I was an E4 when I went to PLDC.
Yeah, same. As a matter of fact, it was, and that's why a lot of people was like, oh well, the new SMA, he's a SF guy, he's an SF guy, and he's an SF guy, and he's special. No, he's not the first. We had Sergeant Major of the Army Richard Kidd, who was an SF guy, and Sergeant Major of the Army Kidd was the one that said, no tape, no PT test, no BLC, no promotion. As a matter of fact, if you fail your PT test or you fail your freaking tape at 0 day, you don't even come in. You get sent back to your units.
As it should be. And I've had that happen. Because then now they give you like a week.
Yeah. And I'm like,
and he still failed it. And I remember sitting there talking to him. I'm like, what's the deal, man? And he had the audacity to crack a smile. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I was like,
this is fucking funny. It's funny.
Yeah. This is what, and the thing was that it was an expected standard that everybody knew. Everybody fucking knew back in the 90s that if it was your time to go to fucking PLDC, your ass better be strapped. At this point, your platoon sergeant, your squad leader, your team leader got you where you needed to go. You got it to where you took 2 PT tests.
Yeah.
You took 2 PT tests. And that's it. You fucking, first one was okay, let's see where you're at. The next one was like, all right, motherfucker, you better not fucking feel this. And then go time was in fucking, at school.
All right. I keep putting off all the stuff I want to go back to, but perfect point right there. How do we get from that in the 90s, pre connectivity, pre email, pre social media, pre where we can communicate with everybody at the fucking instant level? How did we get from that to where we are now, where people have no fucking clue what their soldiers are doing?
Because we've inundated everybody with so much information, and everyone's prior information is more important than the real information. Does that make sense?
So,
Everyone makes it a priority that their stuff that's coming from them should override wherever the fuck you say. Now we are starting to see leaders, senior leaders, have to write policies to tell their commands to stop fucking with their soldiers over the weekend.
yeah.
I mean, if it's
I
gotten
mean,
that
that's the
bad,
active shit. So like the whole reserve, that guard,
the
that's
reserve. Oh my god! Well, the
stupidity.
reserve stuff. Hey, look, man, that's kind of like because remember I was guard before I went active, so I was always told, and I had some old school guardsmen, because you had those 60-year-old freaking specialists, or the guys that just didn't want to get promoted. They were good at what they did. They didn't want to fucking lead. They didn't want to do that, but they looked to you to help you out the technical stuff, little stuff like that. But Dave, one thing was telling me is like, so how do I know when to do? I mean, I was was Private Ramos. So I was like, how do I know how I'm going to do this or how I'm going to do that? He's like, well, that's the best part about the guard. You ask around, network to who you find out who you're talking to, what you need help with, and then just do it, because no one else is going to babysit you. No one else is going to talk to you about what you can and can't do. He's like, that's a little bit of an initiative based soldier as a guardsman or reservist. You have to have your initiative. That
is why, especially during the GWAT, I felt like we kind of performed a little better in some
yes,
instances than
yes.
the full-time dudes, because they don't have that other experience. They don't live in
Mm-hmm.
the real world. They live in nice, hey, you're stationed here, you're here every day. I mean, you go back to this dude you were just talking about. That E4 doesn't want to fucking waste his time doing shit because he doesn't want to take away from his real career, where he's a fucking senior VP somewhere.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Like,
my S3 was the deputy chief of police, so
yeah,
of the city that I was guarding,
like you
and
see a
he
lot of
and
that
you
in the Garden
and
Reserves. A lot of that.
and you see, I think, more resiliency. I don't like to use resiliency because it
Yeah.
sounds too stupid
Buzzword.
to
Yep. Get
because
it.
that word's been abused, just like
Yep.
racist
Just
and
like
Nazi, and
lethality and
yeah,
risky.
yeah,
You're
it
fast,
just gets abused.
like,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever left
exactly.
wing buzzword of it's supposed
Yeah.
to be an insult where it's
So I think somebody who's a
cool.
reservist. Yeah, exactly. You're not hip. Get out of my fucking group chat. The thing is that when I had soldiers coming in, because then once I became active duty and I had soldiers who came active duty themselves from the Guard and Reserve, they were the ones that were the less that I had to manage. Does that make sense? They were the ones
No,
that I
yeah,
didn't really have to.
they're mature.
They're mature because they've been out in the world. I mean, we all laughed one time, and me being a guardsman, a former guardsman, and then other individuals that were in the reserves that were active duty and stuff like that. We had a squad leader tell one of our specialists who was getting out, well, and this guy had been a specialist getting out, couldn't get RCP. He just the promotion points back in the day. He just got RCP, and he couldn't whatever. But he was in the guard
Hey,
before,
timeout.
so
You don't know RCP retention control point. Anyway, carry on.
yeah.
Sorry, Major.
I'm sorry. Return to control point. That's a period of time that you have to make a next rank, and if you don't make it at a specific time, then
Get the fuck out. Bye.
you get
Bye.
out. You're not
I'm
allowed to
back
reenlist.
anymore, whatever.
No,
Anyway.
we've coddled that process so bad. And so literally the guy was RCP and all this stuff, and he couldn't make points. So that was the natural cycle of life in the Army back in the day. There was no exception to policy. There was no changing of MOSs. Hey man,
It's time to go.
it's time to go. Everybody accepted it. Everyone was like, okay, no big deal. So he gets RCP, and the squad leader, as he was out processing, he goes, "You better get used to paper or plastic." And everybody looked at him. I'm like, dude, where everyone's telling him to shut up, because the guy was like an architect or something like that. He came in, wanted to get some college stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
I was just like, dude, just
You don't even know who you're
shut
talking
up.
to. You have no
Yeah,
idea who
you're
you're
talking
talking
about.
to.
I said in the Army world, he may be a little fish to you, but in the civilian world, the guy had like 2 houses, had a couple of cars. He already sent
Yeah.
one of his
No,
kids.
what you're saying is 100% true. And that is what I've actually, especially as I've gotten older, like grown to love about like the force in the reserve and guard. It's like, because you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's an Army value, respect. However,
Hmm.
it's missing sometimes because some people get to a certain like, oh, I'm E6. Look at his E3. We're looking at let's be look at his E4. Because
Yeah.
that's probably who that would be, right? He's got college, he's got all that shit to
Yeah.
come. But you don't know anything about the guy.
Yeah.
You haven't taken
Exactly.
the time to learn your soldier,
Yeah.
right?
Well, just
And you don't know what that dude could do to make your life easier because you're
yeah.
just
Yeah.
kind of like,
Exactly.
oh, I'm E6. Oh, good for you, Staff Sergeant. Wow, I'm
Yeah.
very impressed. Congratulations.
Yeah. Well.
And
Not to mention the fact that this guy, when he was a baller ass generator mechanic and knew layouts because he was an architect. He knew grid layouts to manage the
right.
talk.
So that's probably
So he
like
taught us. He taught us how to wire an entire talk off of one generator. And everyone, this dude cannot be touched. I mean, this dude, like anytime there was generators, he was the power grid manager. He was the guy that ran that stuff, and he taught aviation guys, wheel mechanics. He taught everybody else how to do power grid management. And we're like, dude, this is awesome. So I used that experience when I got, a senior in rank, when I became in a talk, when I went inside a talk, when I worked in a jock, and there were some generator issues. And they're like, man, Sergeant, where'd you learn that? Now I learned it from a specialist in fucking the Arizona National Guard.
And you know what? I'm not gonna lie because I remember this from my time in Iraq in 03, 04, but there was nobody, and there's still nobody when you go to the field and you need AC or you need heat. There's still nobody more important than the fucking guy who knows how to work a generator.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's like it's wild because actually my first real weekend when I was a first sergeant, we went out to the field. It was November in Virginia. It was very fucking cold. And I just remember at like 2 a.m, the heat went out. And so everybody starts waking up because it's fucking cold. You know who jumped on the generator? A fucking captain.
Mm. Mm.
Because this dude had all of this experience prior, but in his civilian world, he was what? He's a fucking engineer. Like,
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
fucking, I'll figure this shit out. And he did. And the heat was back on, right? Because we didn't have any mechanics out there because they didn't come to drill that fucking weekend.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's wild is about the wealth of experience from just personal background, all that shit that's in the guard and the reserves. And I think, you know what? I know it's kind of probably maybe not as prominent as it was, but when I came in, like, I mean, being over in Iraq in 03 with the third ID, like, yeah, of course they looked at us like, who the fuck are you, fucking reservists? You know shit.
Yeah.
It's changed, obviously, since then because the burden,
Right.
most of the lot was brought because of the system forces who would make up all of the reserves and guard and
Yeah, exactly.
a ton of the combat arms units in the guard, right?
Yep.
Those dudes, dude, guard units did a ton of shit in the fucking guard.
Dude, they fucking slugged it out a lot. A lot.
Those went through some shit too, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Say like Monday through Friday, like they're doing normal job shit, and then
exactly.
and the next thing you know, we got 15 months in fucking Afghanistan. It's like, what the fuck?
It's like, and then you're having to deal with, yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, is also dealing with all the temperaments of people coming in. Look, man, some guys coming in may have had like some of the worst moments in their lives, and you're sending them to fucking Iraq. Like they're in the middle. You're upending and you're putting their life in just upheaving all their stuff and all the drama that they got. That's why I said, and it's like you were saying, some little 6-year E6 ain't gonna tell no fucking specialist who's been in the guard for some time anything when it comes to some of like the technical stuff. Yeah. Okay, maybe you might got a little more stuff when it comes to leadership as far as schooling, but I guarantee that E4 is going to help you out way more. I mean, come on, the E4 Mafia didn't just get the name for fucking nothing.
Closer. I honestly think those squads are closer.
Yes,
because you don't. It's not the active side where it's like, oh, here's new E4 or new E3 to my section, my squad, and we got to incorporate him. It's like, this dude's only been in the Army. No, you got a dude who's now in your fucking unit who has that background that we just talked about. It's like, and I'm not saying like this isn't a removal of the chain of command. It's like make the extra effort to learn who your soldier is because they have a life outside of the Army, whereas the active side doesn't. The active side lives the Army every day, right? Like you watch
exactly.
But You get some new E3, E4 to your unit, you need to learn who that fucker is because you don't know who that guy is yet.
Yeah, exactly. He could have. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of it too is that in the army, you get a kid come in. Oh, he's from Ohio, and you don't know from anything from him. He's only been in the army for 2 fucking years. Yada yada yada. And then you right there use that as an excuse to claim his experience on. Does that make sense? It's like,
Yeah, you,
okay, well, he's only a 2 year guy, but you don't know that this guy was already. I've known guys who were officers in the guard that resigned their commission to come in as NCOs.
that's wild.
And I'm like, dude, you got like, I had beer with
To his
one of
right
them.
order. All
Yeah,
right.
it's like that. It's like, yeah, where the fuck you get this from? Where do you? Well, back in CGSC. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about CGSC? Dude, what are you talking about? Were you like cadre or something? Were you like a detail dummy or what? Where did you find some slides in a trash can? What are you talking about? No, man, I resigned my commission to go. Like you were saying, that calling to fight, to go on the Guat and blah blah. And I have to do it. I'm like, oh shit. Well, damn, dude. Okay, those are the stories that you don't hear. Those are the stories that you don't, guys got a freaking, bachelor's in this. He was going to CGSC. He wasn't going to make it. Wasn't going to get promoted. All right, I'll resign my commission to be an NCO. Could you imagine being humbled from a position like that down to fucking.
I could, from the guard reserve perspective, I don't think an active one could do that.
Nah,
It'd
yeah,
be
that's right.
very hit or miss because, like, I still feel, and I don't know who's going to listen to this. I don't know what audience is going to like consume this from the officer side, but I feel like officers still kind of try onto this, like what we talked about with PME or whatever it is for the officer side. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they still feel like they kind of are, oh, we're better than you. It's like they don't
That's
realize that most of the enlisted have the college degree as well. Like I'm seeing
yeah,
masters. Like you're not fucking special anymore. Like this is
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
World War II where like you're just not. And so
I'm not holding like yeah, exactly. I'm not holding up a mirror for you to shave, bitch. You're
yeah, like
There's officers that are like that.
I
They're like,
know,
yes, it's like,
especially the active side. And I like don't get me wrong. Like I have some of my best friends in life are officers, but
mm-hmm.
like you're just not the same.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't think they would take that so willingly as a guard or reserve officer. And my favorite officer ever was the dude that I just left command. But he was a prior 8 year field artillery man before he commissioned.
Mm.
Best company commander I ever had in my life. Dude's
Yeah.
amazing. Spin fall. What's up, bro?
But,
But
yeah, sorry, I'm scratching my nose about ready to sneeze, and I got freaking that pollen, man. What the fuck? It's a dusty ass shit.
even
Yeah,
in
you're
Arizona, where the fuck do you live? Arizona?
oh, it's classified. That's classified. I don't tell nobody. I don't tell nobody my whereabouts because I have stalkers and freaking super fans that like to show up to my door
Hey,
and
you send
and all
this to me, I got guns waiting, bro.
that.
No,
No, you're right. But a lot of it is they think that they. I mean, you'll see this. I don't know. It's almost like this pontificating shit that oh, I would never do this, and I would if a real leader would do that. Well, I'm like, dude, you've been under the you've
real
been
leader.
under, yeah, really. You've been under the comfort of the army, protected by the army, and have not dealt with a staff sergeant who's a guard guy who probably just got in a fist fight with somebody in a bar who don't give a fuck. That's why, like you were saying, the respect part. You got to watch what you say. You got to watch who you respect. It rolls both ways, man. It's like
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
especially with the guard. Like I said, me being a former guardsman, I know I've seen it. I've seen guys that in the active army, and when I came back in, they just thought they could just talk to you any way you wanted. I'm like, what the fuck are you? What you fucking say?
Yeah. You know what? This, once we sign out, where do you want to meet? You
I
know,
have been told.
what's
I,
next?
I have been told by some individuals. I actually have been talked down from some individuals not to go meet up with some individuals who've pissed me off on the TL, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'll
Yeah,
probably
no, that's probably right. But still, no, it's true. I do think I am very curious because obviously the army, um, I don't know how much the active side, but most things filter down from them. I know for the reserves, the guard, we're back to being focused on LISCO, right?
yes,
Scale combat operations. And that goes all the way back to what I was saying. That's kind of, I think, what reminds me of what you mentioned when I cut you off the first time. So during the GWAT, the GWAT, whatever the fuck you want to call it, officers would PCS, come out of it, whatever. But you go back in history, I think World War II is probably the last time it happened because as much as I know about Vietnam, soldiers are doing year rotations coming out. Go back to World War II, and the most prominent examples that people can always draw on. Yeah, there was the Pacific, but most people have no fucking clue that Marines actually existed in World War II and went through some crazy shit with Japan. It's just, I don't know, maybe it's just not taught in schools. It wasn't taught to me. The only thing I learned about the European theater, which is why we get the Band of Brothers, the First, all this, and it's Europe. So that's huge in American mind, but people forget about the Pacific. And what they forget about with both of these stories is the definition of Lisco.
Yes.
You're there until it's time to go fucking home, bro. Like, dudes went to World War II, 1941, maybe 1942, start showing up in wherever theater they were at. Maybe the Pacific was a little later, 43-ish. You're going home. There's no replacement. Yeah, you have replacements when people start to die.
Right,
but
right.
When you got there, hey, you're there, bro, until it's time to go home. And
I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm only bringing it up now because I think it's great that the military is refocused on that because we have a major power that we're worried about, China. But I think the biggest fucking issue, and again, I defer to you because you were older, you were more experienced, you were seasoned, you knew a lot more in terms of the military at that time. But I always wondered, like, yeah, I got extended 3 fucking times and from 03 to 04. And I did 16 months in Iraq, but I went home, but there was someone coming behind me. And I always wondered, like, why is someone coming behind me? Like, what did we do to not end it? Why are we not ending this? So now, if we're going to go back to Lisco, are we going to go back to where if we commit troops to somewhere in the country, or not the country, but somewhere around the world? I wish it was the country because I don't want to go anyone else's backyard anymore. I wish people would just come here and we can play around and find out.
Exactly.
But are we going to get back to the point where it's like if we commit a soldier, they're there until this is over because that puts the burden on leadership, it puts burden on Congress, and it puts burden on the president to go with a commitment and a purpose and achievement in mind before we don't end up with a 20-year fucking global war on terror situation again.
I think the term Lisco is great and funny when great when it's all talk in theory, doctrine, gamesmanship and stuff like that, and how our history has developed from I would say has developed and evolved on some of its tactics. But you got to remember that why the Army tried the what they call the replacement system in Vietnam was because you did the 1 year rotation and then your short timers. Everyone has short timer stick or whatever, short timer calendar. It was because they didn't want to the new style of leader, new style of army did not want to have that type of, or you landed in Normandy and you ended up in freaking the Eagle's Nest in Germany after so many years. Oh, I mean, but you're traveling through and stuff like that, and there was no stop
fighting the entire time.
Yeah. There was fighting the time, but no, stop. Ken and Eric have to go to BLC. There was none of that shit. There was. You kept going. You ended up at the Eagle's Nest from Normandy, or you like I said, the
you had dudes getting battlefield promotions and commissions.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone likes to talk about First Sergeant Lipton, from Band of Brothers. First Sergeant, everybody squared away, make sure everyone's good to go.
So fucking cool.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he gets a battlefield commission. Hey, you're one of my
second dude. What?
I can do slides now. But now so it's like so it's like we're never, as much as the Army goes, we're gonna go Lisco. I'm gonna tell you right now, the warfare will not let us happen. Will not let this happen. Warfare, our policies, our government, the American people could not, will not support something like that, like you were saying, a band of brothers type of thing, where you fucking and the same thing with the Pacific. They did the same shit in the Pacific. The Marines fucking went forward and they didn't they stayed out. I mean, some of them stayed and established bases there and never left. And so it's I don't want to say it's a pipe dream. I don't want to, because I'm gonna have all these academics come after me now. But
I don't care about that.
I mean, I don't care. It's just that you're never going to get that again. It's almost like the pipe dream that you had, like about us going back to polished boots and starch BDUs, bro. It ain't going to happen. You ain't gonna do it. You've just like the social media policy. You've already uncapped the bottle. The genie's out flying around. You're gonna walk around and try to catch it again. It ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna get the big let's go, I'm on command with your poncho flying in the background and seeing formations of tanks flying across whatever.
Jackson Basic in 03 where he's got the fucking
exactly. He's got the cape like that with his fucked up beret. He's
an E4 and he's an E8 in the next.
Exactly. He's gonna tell us what to do, but you're not gonna see these massive formations and wedge formations or wingmen and armor and structure. Nah, dude, you fitting to get droned, son. We have let warfare out evolve us so much to where now, the Ukrainians who've been slugging it out with the Russians provide better tactics on drone warfare that I was doing with some friends back in the day on the SOCOM side of the house back in 2008. And everyone laughed at us going, it's not going to happen. It's Lisco. Lisco's going to be the new thing. After this big war is over, everyone's like, after the next big thing, we're going to do this. Yeah, this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, all right. We're watching videos on fucking Twitter of Russians in their fucking holes getting fucking
wild.
So no, I don't think Lisco is. I think Lisco is. I will say this. It's sort of a. Until anyone can prove me otherwise, you can call me out on it later. I think it's a pipe dream for our military to do that. We've gone asymmetrical now, where we have to combine our conventional, soft, and electronic warfare and drone warfare. It has to be all incorporated now. Anybody who says there's no role for either in the next war, I don't think it's going to happen. There's going to be so much fucking.
I agree with you 100%, but I go back to last year's AT, where that was our focus, right? We're doing Lisco, but what were we hit with what initiated every? Let me ask you, if I were to ask you what initiated every contact with the enemy, what do you think it was?
In the worst case scenario, it was always
just every day we're attacked. What do you think initiated it?
Oh, it was always like a suicide bomber, VBIED, or freaking, or
no, it's the drone, bro.
No. Oh, well, for you guys, yeah. I mean, I'm just talking about, I've not been in an exercise for a minute, so I was talking about.
But this is what I bring up because I remember I was in those groups, and I was in a different group than what we're in right now, and I was asking like, bro, what would you guys do? Like, what would you do, right? Especially, what would a support element do, right?
Right.
I'm not sitting in fucking SAW. I'm not sitting in a fucking armored fucking infantry brigade. What would you do? Because if I'm in, who the fuck am I going to hit? I'm not hitting hard targets. I'm hitting support elements. Right?
Yep.
And it was wild. What came up was actually a tactic that was used. I want to say it was World War I because drones aren't new.
Right. Correct.
They put fucking fences over top of their artillery pieces.
Yeah.
And the wildest shit about the fucking drones that were being used against us was, okay, they would drop simulated attacks with tennis balls, right? And they would open up, and sometimes they would drop some CS gas and all, but it was like, all right, if you're not going to give us shotguns, if you're not going to have any type of weapons to actually engage them, we can put some concealment up. We can do some basic fucking concealment to where your fucking attacks are ineffective because munition on a fence is gonna bounce off. It's not gonna fucking damage the fucking thing, right? We know what drones are. They're not exactly they're not Reaper drones shooting fucking missiles. They're these little fucking things dropping stupid grenades or whatever, and they're annoying as fuck, like you said. But that's the future. But I do want to go back to where you said that's not a reality. Do you say it's not a reality because we can't get back to an environment where when we commit troops, we're committing until it's over, and this provides an incentive to our leadership to end this shit and not back on the 20-year experiment? Or do you say it's not possible because We just have to have fucking 9-month deployments.
Excuse me. It's not going to happen because it's not going to happen as far as like a LISCO scenario is going to happen. Is because we have gone every like for instance, everyone talks about and I apologize for not understanding the question earlier about the what was the event, because for us back in the day when we did the old school exercises when I was coming up, it was never drones. It was always SPF forces. They always like to brag. The S2 always like to brief SPS forces, special purpose forces, special forces, and these guys, these sappers and VBIEDs and suicide bombers was always that's the drones now. That is the drone. That
you're describing the plot, and now we've evolved, and
we've evolved to the drone. So now here's what the American people are going to have to realize, that when our elected officials decide to send our sons and daughters in harm's way, are you willing to accept the fact that your son or daughter could be on Twitter getting exploded by an enemy drone?
Mm-hmm.
And if that's what they did this with a country, because I'm going to tell you what, drone warfare is a little more savage and a little bit more than warfare has always been savage. It's just that we've never seen it, because before you watched during the GWAT, OIF started up. You saw that one CNN tape where all those buildings along the river, I think it was a Tiger, so you phrase, I can't remember. They all got lit up and fuck yeah. Like Sam Kinison said during Desert Storm, motherfucking generals are going, rewind it. Let's see this shit, and you're all like,
shock it all. Let's go.
Shock it out. Let's go for watching all these bombs going off, watching our helicopters. We're like, watching our soldiers, gunning down some Iraqis or something like that. Well, now you're going to have a first person view of your son or daughter getting droned by an enemy, and which now just about everybody.
PX. I think about that. What you're saying, I think about that because I lost count of how many times I was either walking to the fucking Burger King or I was walking to the PX or whatever on BIAP when fucking rocket and mortar attacks come in, fucking building, whatever. Well, now they can fly the fucking drones in, drop some shit on me while I'm trying to go get me a hamburger.
Yeah, exactly. While you're there at the new Burger King.
No, but you're right. But that's the only thing I'm trying to get out of you is like, do you think at least the commitment to LISCO while factoring in all this drone bullshit, are we going to get to a point where we're not doing rotations?
Yeah, well,
we're committing. Oh,
Sergeant Major of the Army. Sergeant Major of the, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm there. It is.
Yeah. Sergeant Major of the Army. Sergeant of the Army. Yeah, no, I don't want my hand to freaking get caught and frozen in a specific way. Like, oh, do you see what he is? He is half German. Anyways, it is. So Sergeant Major of the Army Waymer said a good point. He's like, we've seen combat, but we've never been to war. Like, we've never been to. We do. We go off.
That's an excellent point.
We've seen combat, but we've never gone to war. And I'm paraphrasing, of course. And he said that, I go out, go do my thing, and I'm working out in the KBR gym.
Hell, fuck yeah!
So get some gains. But like you were saying about LISCO, once you get put into it, and when we're committed like that, that's where our full. Because I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna have to change our doctrine on it to, like you said, to have that full commitment. That because. Fuck, dude, you want to keep talking. Everyone, not you specifically, but everyone talks about Band of Brothers and blah, blah, like that. Bro, those guys were rolling in their coughs. Their CPs were mobile. They weren't in a hard stand. They were not in a freaking, they were established, and then all their forward elements were on the go, and they were in a bombed out church or something like that.
Do that shit because we weren't having to worry about fucking, hey, like you just said earlier, hey, make some fucking slides for Sergeant, who's now a second lieutenant. Like, no, and there's that great scene where it's like, hey, I need your report. And Mr. Winters is like, well, he was probably Captain Winters at the time. He's like, okay, well, I guess fucking finally type these things up. And he's in the fucking and he's at the keyboard reliving all the shit they did. He's finally typing reports because battalion's like, I need to know what's going on.
Right. Well, I think you said
that right now, where we inundate company commanders with in bullshit. Like I feel for my company commanders. I feel for them, especially in reserves. It's like
I don't think I don't. In other words, it's a giver. It's a giver.
Alone.
Exactly.
Fuck alone.
Hey, you saw me in a drone. You see me doing shit, right?
Fuck.
So like I said, that commitment has to happen. but a lot of stuff has to change in that process as well. When we do the big Lisco fight, we're gonna have to up our methods of supply trains. We're gonna have to up our methods of counter drones, counter drone measures. You're gonna have to, because I remember back in the day when I was coming up in the ranks, and they're like, all right, you need this convoy, yeah, okay, you're gonna pull air guard. I'm like, air guard? What the fuck do I? I'm on E3. I'm like, why? I'm over here in Camp Roberts, California. Why the fuck am I doing a damn? Why am I doing air guard? Why would we ever have air guard? Because the way our doctrine was at the time was called the air land battle doctrine. We wouldn't have to worry about enemy aircraft. But in the event you have to get, in the event a jet gets through, you have to man the 50 in air guard. Well, now there's a bunch of Cold War vets, so I told you got to do that air guard stuff. I told you now that air guard's important because of drones. So there's a lot. Again, it's hard. It's hard to make that. How do I say that? To make that assessment, unless once we start rolling with it. So we would have to have like a Louisiana maneuvers type of thing. We would have to have something other than JRTC. We would have to have another event to where we would have to really prove. And of course, all the freaking tinfoilers would come out there with the Jade Helm stuff to really prove that we could do Lisco. I mean, do I think we could do it? I can't even answer that because of all the factors that are happening. But like you were saying, the commitment is what I'm not seeing right now. Everyone's going 9 months in, 9 months out. Okay, we got to do these drills. We got to go back. Okay, now we got to rotate back.
Thing. Like, and I go back to what was that fucking Netflix movie with Brad Pitt where it was just basically about like every rotation, whoever the general was in charge was like, oh, it's my plan for the 9 months I'm here, and this is what we're gonna do.
And you're talking about War Machine, the one where he's making fun of they're making fun of McChrystal, right?
Yeah, it probably was. I mean, but like the point of it overall, where I go back and like, and this is what I say, this comes from actually maturing and aging throughout this process and not being the fucking 21-year-old idiot who enlisted in it. You start to see, you start to grow, and you start to see, and you start to realize, like, wait a fucking minute.
Yep, exactly. That's why a lot of us GWAT vets think, and this is what pisses me off about. Look, we're Americans. We get to say whatever we want. Our freedom of speech allows us to say it. I'm not going to hate you if you say with no more wars. I'm not going to hate you at all. Because after what I've experienced, I see exactly your fucking point.
I want that.
20 years of fucking GWAT, and what happened? And what happened?
Fucking years, bro.
20 fucking years, and the Taliban got all our shit. Not only did they get all our shit, they were getting our money now. And now we're finding out that, we're still giving them, and we fucked over our Afghan allies that were helping us out. 20 fucking generations of Afghan allies we just left fucking behind. Some of them are dual citizens. Some of them got their citizenship, went back to Afghanistan to fight with us. We left them fucking behind. And so at this point, you as experience all this stuff in your lifetime, you go, yeah, I don't want to fucking go anywhere else because you guys didn't hold up your part of the bargain. Your whole part of the bargain was we're going to win.
It was someone to be dumb enough to roll up on our shore. That's all I dream of.
Wolverines, man. Wolverines. I'm a Cold War kid. I was preparing that shit. Wolverines, scenarios, caching.
Dude, like this, like I always say, like you don't even need the military to win that shit. Are you gonna come to the interior of this country and beat the gangs, or just normal dudes with fucking rifles?
You're gonna see. You're probably gonna see the biggest unification of gangs together to fight a foreign enemy throughout the whole thing. I mean,
like that's why I just and I get it. There's probably a million fucking we gotta like egghead global game plan, like why we can't do the shit. But it's like, tell me why. Best thing on this country's future would not just to be like, hey, let's just go do 100 years of isolation like fucking Japan did. Like, why can't we just be isolationists? Why?
We could be isolationists and help friends. There's nothing wrong with that. But
exactly.
We're not going to.
You still
for fucking UK. Hey, you need some help with this? You want to do a joint exercise in the event?
The UK needs a lot of help.
They need some help. They need some fucking help. Big time.
I argue that like we won 2 fucking instances but then we don't have to give a shit what they say. But that fucking country's on fratricide more than anything. Like, no, but like and you probably understand this as well, but like, dude, I don't want to put the visitor jersey on anymore, man. Like,
Mhm.
just like you want to fucking fuck around and come to the United States of America and do something, which I don't think there's any country around this planet that really would, outside of maybe China. But I don't think they're that dumb. China's not a
No.
dumb country. Like they do some weird shit. They're not dumb.
Yeah, they're. I would say if anything else, I mean, just watching the Russian, trying to fucking take Ukraine. I know for a fact Ivan is fucking is they're unless they use a nuke. I don't see them fucking winning at all unless they use a nuke. And if they do use a nuke, hey, dude, sorry,
But
you
that's my
fuck.
so I think this might be the one thing you and I are probably we're not in total alignment on. And that's what I want to ask you. So I'm glad you brought it up. But I think it's very clear Russia's trying to do what's in the best interest of the history of Russia. And Ukraine has always been part of Russia. Resources are historically a part of Russia. That's what Putin's trying to do. So you bring up a new element because you're right. But also, they know that they can't achieve what they actually want if they went to that extreme because the nuke just fucking neutralizes the resources that you're after,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Like,
exactly. Yeah, it would. That's why they're doing their. Russia's always been with their war of attrition with fucking just sending
yeah,
dudes into the meat grinder. They don't
because
give a
because they're
fuck.
still not really sending their best, right? Like
Well,
they
we see that's
can't.
the thing. We are. I mean, how do I say this? Our intel's so great that they weren't supposed to invade, and look what happened there. You know what I mean? So it's
Not
kind of like
fair.
at this point, our feelings toward fucking Russia, how they fucking went, and like I said, I'm a Cold War kid, Red Dawn,
Yeah,
Wolverines,
yeah,
Day
yeah,
After, all that stuff.
yeah.
Um, I still don't trust fucking Russia. I still don't trust them. Whatever their intent to whatever is not fucking friendly. Do we have to be amicable to other countries that we're hostile to? Of course, that's what diplomacy is about. Diplomacy is that way. I mean, that's why I always laugh when people are like posting pictures of old administration guys with guys that we thought were our enemies. And you're like, well, we were trying to do something back then. We were trying to do something,
Yeah.
we were trying. I
Iraq
thought,
was a great
yeah,
example.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, come on, you got fucking pictures of Rummy fucking shaking
Hanging
hands with
out with
Saddam Hussein.
fucking Saddam Hussein. Yeah,
Yeah, and everyone's like, what the fuck? I mean, when that, because social media was starting to get prevalent, when I saw that picture, I'm like, what the fuck? You're like, wait a minute. We were told, supporting Hussein, blah, blah, blah. Paul Mooney, who passed away, who was one of Dave Chappelle's producers, also Richard Pryor's. He was like, how do you know there's there was a joke on the Chappelle show. How do you know that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? It's because we have the receipt, is what he said. And so it's like, dude, it gets to the point to where the argument also gets so it just gets stupid. Like, I cannot go on and say, like you said, you and I disagree on this, but on a more amicable terms, is that I think we fucked over Ukraine by not helping them enough. And when for the first Trump administration sent fucking javelins, and everyone's like, oh fuck yeah, this is fucking yeah, okay. I felt like the last administration just didn't let fucking Ukraine go wild. But I wouldn't say wild, but yeah, pretty much let them go wild. Hey, go fucking. It seemed like they were being held back by the previous administration, and now with the relations of how we are with them with Trump 2.0, and it didn't help with all the static, all their media, all their support groups, and all. It didn't fucking help it at all, because you say I don't support Ukraine, I say I support Ukraine, and there's some fucker in the middle trying to drive a wedge between us, calling us traitors.
yeah.
Because we speak that. And you speak that because you don't want 20-year fucking wars. I speak that because I want fucking Russia to get destroyed. But there's somebody in the middle going, well, Eric, you're a piece of shit. Ken, you need to support more. Like, bitch,
Yeah.
we gave you fucking weapons. We
Yeah.
gave you we gave you all this fucking money, and now we're finding out that okay, now that money did not get all there, or the support did not get all there. So of course everyone's going to look at you with skepticism. It's not going to help that you have the outliers in social media shit talking Americans about it, and then you're going to wonder why Americans are losing support. Well, why the fuck am I? I think that we should just stop being in a war. Well, you support Putin. No, I'm just thinking that we don't be in war. You support Putin, you fucking traitor. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm an American telling you that I just got out of a 20-year war,
Yeah, and I don't want my fucking
and I don't want my sons or daughter. Yeah, I don't want my kids to go over there. And that's a perfectly fucking logical and acceptable explanation to me. But those diehards out there, it's really hard for me to defend them when you say, well, I don't understand how come this person says fuck Ukraine. Well, damn, dude, you literally just fucking ragged on somebody online and told them what pieces of shit Americans they were because they didn't want to kowtow to what you wanted them to say.
Right.
You could say where the fuck you want. You would say you support them? Yep. You say you don't support them? Yep. I still love you, but I'll be damned if I'm going to have some outlier on social media try to drive a wedge between our friendship or something like that because we feel that way.
And that's like, that's my question, because I think this came out of, I know I've seen it before, but I think it came back kind of to a little bit of prominence when Tucker Carlson went to Russia and he did his interview with Putin. And Putin gave like this, history of Russia. But what they eventually covered was at one point, and I don't think they name who was responsible for deciding against it, but at one point there was conversation of a unified Russia and the United States sort of dome, right? Like this whole golden dome, like
yeah.
right? Like there were conversations about that in the first Bush administration, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And we are where we are now. But I always thought about that because I I dated a girl who spoke Russian. She was a Russian expert. Her whole thing was like Russia in the State Department. And this was before I went to Afghanistan. But I remember asking her, I'm like, because I was very anti, like I was raised to be like I grew up in the '80s with fucking every Hollywood film was anti-Russia. I grew up against it, and I remember asking her a question. I was just like, I don't get it. Why do you want to specialize in this? Why Russia? And she's like, well, Russia is the only country on this planet where we have a shared, whether the average American wants to believe it or not, we have a shared value system. We recognize each other, and we will deal with each other politically, militarily, and diplomatically. And I was young. I was going, what was this, 12, 10 years ago? I was 30, early 30. And I was just like, I mean, I guess, but I don't know, because I was always brought up just, you need to hate Russia.
Well, see, that's the thing.
But she made, like, when I go back and think about her points, and I'm not in contact with her anymore, so I don't know. I would love to have a conversation with her. That's never happened. But that was her expertise. That's what she was specific on. She's like, we have these relationships we've had since the Cold War. We've had all these instances of like undercover agents on both sides. Like Russia and the United States have diplomatic relations where we can actually communicate and talk, exchange ideas, whatever. And I go back and I watch shows like The Americans, and you see where it's just like, man, what the fuck? She's actually like talking some sense, because I never knew that. It makes a lot of fucking sense, because when I go back and start just Googling some shit on my own with Russia, like, man, that's a huge Christian population. Like, are we hating the government, or are we hating the people? Like, who do we hate?
Yeah, no,
Why do we hate them? Why do we hate them?
See, that's the thing, is that we have always, how do I say this? We have always dehumanized our adversaries when it comes to stuff like that.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't fucking want fucking genocide. I don't want to fucking have, slaughters.
I never really got that about you, Ken. But
Well,
I never really was like, you know what? I don't know if I could be friends with Kim. He's pretty pro genocide. So
yes. Well, my biggest thing is that my like you were saying is my biggest thing. There was actually a movie. I can't remember which movie it was. There was a movie that I have to get back on this one, but there was a movie where we did a joint counterterrorism operation with Russia, and I can't remember what it was. That was when the Glasnost thing came out, Perestroika came out, when Gorbachev, Gorby was given hope. I mean, yeah, exactly, yeah, the guy who's got his country birthmark on his head. We had there was hope. That's my thing. There was hope that we had a possible close, and that's what made me think, okay, cool. You know that I could see that. Still apprehensive, just like anybody else.
yeah,
Bro, when we got back from Iraq in the First Army Division, we even did a training event with Russians. We even had a partnership for peace program in Europe. That was us doing allied stuff with Russia. Still not, again, not trusting. So it was like not, how do I say this? It was not uncommon for us to be cool, to have those, like I was saying before about diplomacy. But I'm not at all because the average Russian, just like the average American, doesn't fucking know shit either.
yeah, they don't like that.
The average American's like, what's going on in Russia? Well, we got to fight these tariffs. Okay, what are these tariffs about?
Way I demonized fucking Iraqis, man. When I was there,
yeah.
Like,
Which
I'm sitting here watching fucking Haji or whatever. I'm like, this dude is just some dude trying to fucking hustle for his family. Like, he runs my. Why the fuck
that was
supposed to fucking hate this guy?
you know what you're talking about, right? You just talked about your age and your wisdom. You're now looking back with a lens. They're like, bro, why the fuck did this guy was just driving through and everyone was laughing their asses off watching an M1 Abrams tank fucking roll over his fucking vehicle when he was just passing through.
Yeah.
And it was like he was suspected this, suspected that, and it was suspected of this, and suspected that. And then you see the Iraqi version of it. The guy was like, I was literally just driving through. I was driving through, and they got my tank, and they confiscated it, and they rolled their tank on it. There's that video still out there. But yeah, it is one of those dynamics to where I fuck Putin. I'll say it again. Fuck Putin. I mean, his interests.
Why do you say that? Let me just ask.
His interests. Well, his interests have never been for, how do I say this? Have never been he's gonna take into consideration for his own country, of course. But he's always, I always feel, because you got to remember, he's a former KGB agent guy.
Yeah.
He ran operations against Americans in back in the Cold War. Mm-hmm. And so I don't fucking trust him. I mean, this is me, Ken. I don't trust him because I feel like with one thing that he talks about how powerful our country is, and maybe we can see things alike, there's something behind the scenes that he's about ready to drop the other shoe on. I mean, this portion right here, we totally fucked up this whole thing with Ukraine. Totally. We fucked this up bad. I mean, you got to remember, of course, everyone's blaming Trump on this stuff too. Crimea wasn't under
no, that was Obama.
Actions of Obama, yeah. Those actions were under the Obama administration. Yeah, that was not under the fucking
Trump line.
What's that?
Remember the red line?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The red line, and this has got to happen, and you will not do this, and if you do that, and then
here's the reset button.
The reset button, and then what's her name? Jen Psaki rocking around with her fucking little babushka hat, little pink pink hat.
These things happened. That was what, like these happened.
Things happened. These were just. I mean, come on, guys. We can all be getting along and stuff like that. So are we looking at this from the lens of the reset button, or are we looking at the lens just because you hate Trump? That's what it boils down to as well. If you fucking hate Trump, nothing he can or nothing he says or does is never going to fucking satisfy you.
No. Well, ever. I mean, we're seeing that now.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're right back to the same fucking coverage that we had in Trump 1.
Right.
You said it's just like,
yeah. Well, now we're seeing more of.
You can't get any, like, nothing he does is shown as being positive to the country. And again, it goes back to, like, The dude chose to put the fucking wrong letter next to his name.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
would have primaried Hillary Clinton and beat her, would that have made you happy? No, it wouldn't.
Yeah. I
Because
think,
we go back to what Sam Shoemate said, like Hillary was supposed to win. She
yeah.
was supposed to win. She lost the first time to Obama, but this time she had to win.
I'll
And
be honest with you.
I'm going to say it.
They fucked it. They fucked this election up so bad.
Dude, I'm just going to come out and say it. Americans don't want a woman president. I'm just going to say it. Like, it's true. They don't.
You think so? I don't think.
I believe it 100% because the Republicans, if you see how Nikki Haley was treated, like they don't want her. Yeah. I just don't think Americans want a female president. And you know what? I'm not going to come out and fucking hate him for that idea because I think many people, specifically Americans, still view whatever political party you are, they view strength through a man. They want a strong person, regardless of party, leading them, and they don't look to that to be a female.
Well, right? I think that
they like Obama. They like Trump. They like strong men.
They want to do because Hillary,
strong man.
Hillary
Trump, and strong man. This is who people identify.
Hillary
was
Harris,
not any of that.
Yeah, Hillary was. I mean, she was just. Here's the thing, too. I don't know how these politicians can run for fucking office and then be cool with each other afterwards, and then they're like in their cabinet or they're like
fucking game, bro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But for me, I'm just kind of like, dude, you guys literally just dragged each other on a fucking debate stage, and now you're gonna fucking like, you want to be part of my cabinet? Nah, fuck that. But no, I think what it was is that everybody knew that the like you said, everyone thinks it's an ordainment, like we're going to coronate a fucking
and Republicans
Hillary or Harris
too when they thought McCain was going to beat Obama.
No,
sorry.
And well, I mean, it didn't help that he had Sarah Palin on running with him too, and you could tell that there was you could see the dynamic of somebody not getting along. Part of the, you know what I mean? Like you can't, like for instance, Vance, VP, and the president right now, you could see they gel. You could see that there's some sort of, I don't want to say like political chemistry, but you could see them gelling together.
In spite of what Vance's early thoughts and opinions were.
Yeah.
Hey, we keep it real here. Like, we're not going to pretend. Like, Vance caught some shit on Trump.
Yeah. I think that was probably a respect.
That fence, but I mean.
Yeah. But to think that somebody's going to be ordained to be a president just because they're a woman, nah, dude. We saw somebody who everybody thought, even in the Democrat side, the Democrats didn't want to fucking vote for Hillary because of, dude. I'll say it. She was just a fucking snarky ass bitch to people, man, and everybody saw it.
She's not likable.
Yeah, not likable at all. Even Democratic strategists said the same thing.
I'll push back my own opinion because I have a very well-sourced, I won't say who they are, individual who spent time with her and would say the opposite of everything we just said. Like, Hillary's really amazing, super personable, really nice, whatever. And that may be true. However, how she came across is antithetical to that argument. Because that's the same shit that gets argued about Trump. Bill Maher just said it. I went met with Trump, and I have to say this. He couldn't fucking lie. He put out specifically how much he was wrong about who President Trump is. And of course, predictable fucking pushback. Oh, I can't believe you're humanizing him. Like, what do you mean you can't believe he's humanizing him? That's who the fucking man is. Like, and it could be wrong because Trump doesn't want to have a friendly relationship with the media, but he still faces them every day. Adversarial or not, he doesn't play the game. And so we don't get to see who Bill Maher saw because even in his own words, he won't show that.
Yeah. And the thing is that now Bill Maher, if you see on social media, is getting attacked left and right by people who they
And that's why I will always give Bill Maher respect. I always have. Like I
Yes,
like
yes,
Bill Maher. Like he's smart. When he was a comedian, I don't know if he is anymore, but even when he's a comedian, that's how I first was interested. I thought he was funny because
yeah, yeah,
political shit, and I thought it was funny, and it was actually in the context of where we actually could have conversations. Those
right.
have
He actually brings that.
weird. Was that
He actually brings that though to have a conversation. He just brings it, and the thing is, and he'll call you out if he thinks Bill Maher has always liked to call himself a liberal and stuff like that.
yeah?
And some of his things that he is, and some of the things he isn't. I think he's more
I think
center
Bill
if anything
Maher's a
else.
very normal American.
A common sense guy,
Very
common sense.
normal American. He
Yeah.
identifies as a liberal, sure, but like you said, like he has some very common sense positions that I think both sides of the aisle could identify with.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and yeah, there are times where I'm like, oh, dude, please shut the fuck up. Fucking talk. And then there's other times where I'm like, yeah, see, no more.
yeah,
That's how
exactly.
that's how
Look at
it
us.
should be.
Look at us. We're defending Bill Maher.
That's how it should be. Like
Yeah.
that's what I've always like. I never agree. I brought this up like we just talked about Ukraine. Like, I don't agree with you on this shit, but
Yeah.
you're my dude. You're my friend. Like I'm never gonna get be like, oh fuck that guy because he thinks.
Yeah. Same.
But that's how people used to be in this country. You could be
Yep.
you could have disagreements and conversations and okay, well let's talk about why you feel that way. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna push back and say why I feel that way. And if we resolve that, we do. If we don't, whatever. Let's hey, bartender. You know,
Bartender, give me some more Baileys for my coffee here because my biggest thing as well is that we are both also not too far from those. You know what I mean? We're actually more closer on some of the like. There's a couple of things that I'm pretty sure would sway us to agree with each other on some things.
Yeah.
That's like, people who have normal conversations and not so fucking vitriol. This vitriol fucking shit online is just unreal. I'm like, dude, I can't even have a call. I let's put it this way. I have had lost friends, or I have had friends not talk to me anymore just for me saying, yeah, you know what? The Army did kind of fuck up that COVID shit. And oh my fucking God.
So you really lost friendships because of that.
Yes. I will say this right now. And I hope they're listening that, well, they will be listening because we're going to share this on the WTF Petition Radio's YouTube.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go. I've had just lost of contact with people. They just because I didn't flow with them on the Latinx bullshit or I didn't flow with them on the COVID shit. Bro, we posted on US.
When you go back to the Latinx part, were these actual Latinos like yourself?
No, these are white liberals.
Okay.
So these were liberals that thought that I should I should be more inclusive on the culture.
I would assume like your platform extends to all because all can
that's
show shit. But all right, so that's one example where you, a Latino man, who decided to not prescribe, much like our buddy Julio Rosas, not prescribe to the whole weird white liberal Latinx thing. Okay, so you lost friendships for that. And you also lost friendships because of the COVID thing.
Yeah,
I don't. Where did we lose? Because as we see this playing out, DOD is actually saying, and we may disagree with the wording, they're actually saying, hey, we're sorry, sort of, come on back.
But you got to sign this saying that you weren't coerced.
I ain't signed shit.
My thing, and the thing was that it started to happen, and this is what everyone's going to, fucking people are going to like, oh my God, clutch pearls when I step out ready to say this. It's when we got the same information that Sam Shoemake got about the Matt Livesberger incident at Trump Tower in Vegas.
Yeah.
Everybody fucking attacked him saying that he was full of shit. The emails, I don't give a fuck about the content of the emails, but the emails were inauthentic, that he was making it up, that this was for fucking clout, and he showed up on Sean Ryan's show. And I was like,
this doesn't happen, man.
I'm like, you know what? I said,
it's almost like let me just fake my way onto the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me started on Joe Rogan because he has fakes who talk about PSYOP, and I'm like, what about me?
It's pretty fucking close. Nah, I don't think he made that shit up, man.
Yeah. So I talk to the team and I say, look, I'm gonna step out on this and fucking do what's right on this portion. And I lost some friends on this one. And I'm gonna stand up for fucking for the truth on this because we got the exact same information that Sam got. We got the exact same information that
Okay.
that the fucking feds and the law enforcement agencies in Vegas authenticated. We got the same shit. So I said, nah, fuck that, dude. Y'all need to shut the fuck up. Y'all need to stop. This is the stuff that was happened. We got the same information. I even went on my podcast and did a comparison of the emails that we got and the comparison of the emails that Sam got. And everyone was trying to make it up and all this other stuff. That got me a lot of crap because then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, you know, you using Sam and blah, blah. I'm like, no, no, no. This right here is like if you're now being selective on how I pick stories because you don't fucking like someone.
Yeah.
This got so fucking. I mean, look, dude, he came on the Sean Ryan show.
Control the show.
Yeah, you're not going to control my shit, and I'm going to back him up because he's fucking right. He was correct. Yeah, I was like, I don't get it.
He's absolutely right.
He was fucking correct in this shit. And so I went on my podcast and said the same thing. I was like, I don't know, this fucking this. I pulled up emails that we got. I pulled up the comparisons. I could pull up what he put up, what Sean Ryan put up. We've even had individuals who were calling bullshit on Sam as well apologize. Because once it came out that yes, this was, I mean, look, dude, it took more people to say that he was correct than anything else. And now you fucking believe him. And I will say one or two people did apologize. Some people still have their fucking tweets out there saying that shit. So then it came to the COVID stuff. We have proof. If you just go on the Facebook page of US Army WTF Moments in the search bar and type social distancing, you will see the joke that we fucking had when it came to COVID and social distancing. Some organizations did actually a pretty good fucking job in doing the mitigating or what was the slang that they use of the term, they, you know, keeping the bubble, whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Well, wait, social distancing. That's what it was.
Yeah. It was basically what it was. There were some organizations that did a pretty good job.
Maintain 6 feet, Ken.
They did. They did it great. They did great. But
we're dying.
Yeah.
If you're
people are dying
11 inches from me,
genocide. Yes, genocide. No, but then the social distancing stuff and all that stuff that came out, and then the messaging portion of it, everyone's like, why are you pushing back on the COVID stuff? I said, I'm not pushing back on the COVID stuff. I'm showing you for people who are taking this COVID shit seriously. Dude, we got, and I know Sam got some of the stuff too. Sears School of all fucking places was, what
happened with fucking Sears School?
Sears School got fucking infected so fucking bad, and they still fucking kept going. They were still fucking going. They were like, all right, well, fuck it. You all right? You got it getting bad? The quarantine drama and stuff like that, it happened there as well. It happened, but
did they actually train the individuals?
Some of these individuals didn't need to be trained. I'm not saying I didn't need to be trained as far as the
fucking important school for people who don't know.
Let's put it this way. Maybe I shouldn't say it like that, but I'll say not being trained. Some of them were COVID positive, but they were asymptomatic. That's what I'm saying. They were still trained. They were like.
I'll always go back to that. That was me in February of 2020. And I've told this story on there before, but like I couldn't get tested because my only fucking symptom was that I lost my sense of smell.
Yeah.
Taste, which was not a symptom at the time in February of 2020. And I remember going out to my fucking grilling steak where I would go out and drink bourbon, and like I couldn't taste the bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, what the fuck? This is weird. And then a week later it was gone. But for my company commanding first, I'm like, hey, contact Travis Air Force Base, see if they'll see you. And they're like, oh, that's not a symptom. Because it was like very early on, like none of that shit I was going through. Because I didn't have any other symptoms. I didn't have any of the rest. Like I get it. There were people who were really fucked up. I was
Yes,
not
yes,
fucked up.
yes.
I wasn't one of those people. And I never had anything since. But yeah, that's fucking wild, man. It's
We had guys.
wild.
We had guys. We had so the army was like then saying you're going to quarantine, you're going to get quarantined, and you're going to get quarantined if this stuff doesn't happen. And I think it was on your podcast I just heard that there were guys with engineer tape. We got it posted. There was guys standing there in the middle of the fucking woods, quarantined with engineer tape around them. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But that was Sam. Like,
yeah, it was like, what the fuck are we? What the fuck we're doing here? If we're putting out
wild, like that was going on in our circle.
Yeah,
I say that because that was our circle. Like, people don't realize, like, our circle's just not that big, man. The rest of the fucking country, 300 million fucking people, don't realize that that's going on. That's their military.
Yeah,
they didn't realize that shit.
Yeah, exactly. And
like
and
they were
I mean,
people to the fucking field and then seg them out and just, hey man, hang out there behind the engineer tape. Like, what?
But then you just said
it was like these commands being like, are they being creative? Is this ingenuity, or are they being fed this from somewhere else?
Yeah, I feel a lot of it was to keep down the. In other words, the Army did not want to admit that there was a weakness in the way we handle diseases like this, like a real like I remember back in the day, everyone had this when COVID first broke out, everyone had this. Remember, there was a meme that went out of everybody looking down from a balcony saying, "I'm an essential worker. I'm an essential worker."
Yeah.
Because when it first broke out, everyone says if you were an essential worker, you still had to come during a fucking pandemic. Okay, pandemic.
Everybody did an essential worker all of a sudden.
Yeah. Everyone all of a sudden, essential workers, cops, fucking first responders, fucking cooks, fucking service industry. All of a sudden, and they were just trucking along. I got the sniffles. Oh, you're essential worker still. Are you quarantined?
It was a fucking stupid time, dude. Like, I was living in Napa, California when that happened, and it was so fucking dumb. Because what does everyone remember about Napa, California? Let me ask you. Let me give you the trivia question. What do you remember about Napa, California, with the governor of California?
Napa, California. That's when the governor was making everybody lock down, but he was seen out eating in a restaurant and shit, unmasked, unfucking whatever, making all the service workers serve him,
bro.
Yeah, and
it drive from where I live in Napa.
Yeah,
he was in Yellow.
And then Nancy Pelosi running around to a goddamn a fucking hair salon and getting all her shit done.
It's Nancy Pelosi with a fucking hair salon.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck are we thinking here? It's like, look, and I'm pissed off at the fact that we didn't get real zombies.
Bro, they hated Nancy Pelosi so much that they leaked it.
Yeah.
That's what I always came back to that. Like, I'll go to like the French Laundry shit with Governor Newsom was, I mean, that was free money. They did that. But Nancy Pelosi has been a congresswoman for fucking decades. And she's probably been going to that same fucking salon for decades.
Yeah.
You know how women, especially women, they're like, that's where they go. And someone was like, man, I can't fucking stand that fucking woman. Exactly. I can't fucking stand her. Fuck her.
Yep.
And that's what they did. Because you're right. It exposed the hypocrisy of the elites, especially in California. Because, like I said, dude, the French Laundry is 10 minutes from where I fucking live in Napa. I know exactly what their procedures are.
Yep, exactly. And it also
sitting there in an unsecured like the doors are like nothing, bro. Like you're fucking exposed. And you're your own citizens in your state. Oh, only 10 people in your house. You don't get to have any. Like, fuck you, dude.
Bro, I didn't get to see a family. I didn't get to go connect with a family member who was who was misdiagnosed and put in a fucking COVID. What's that?
You're from Southern California, right?
Yeah. So I had a family member. I couldn't even, because of their stupid ass bullshit. I couldn't even visit a family member who was everything was COVID at the time.
Yep.
You got in a car accident, COVID. You got murdered, COVID. You got fucking whatever, COVID.
COVID.
And so I had a family member who was already ailing with other issues, and he didn't have COVID. He didn't take the jab. He didn't, and of course, everyone's going to come after me, And it was like, hey man, for those that were of frailty and stuff like that, rather frail individuals, I could see them getting the fucking vax. I could see them getting it, and not the fucking mRNA or the Pfizer or the fucking. I was thinking about the J&J one that we've always fucking used in Africa and shit. That for some reason, we talked about this onslaught, but we were already hearing anything about the vax that was used in Africa. And so it was true. It was the J&J. I'll fucking admit it. I got the fucking J&J, and that was it. One and done. Yep. That's it. And the military was actually. It seemed like the military was like trying to push people away from it. They wouldn't want everybody, and all of a sudden there was that big lawsuit where all the J&J vax fucking went away. Of course, I'm going to have all the fucking vax.
Do you have any insight on why?
No, that's probably a fucking DHA type thing. So, the Defense Health Agency. They probably did some shit like that. That's like more tinfoil that I could possibly fucking want to dream of.
I love the tinfoil. We love the tinfoil on this show because yeah, that's where we're at right now. So that's what I want to ask you. So we got a lot of these fucking memos and some shit coming out, and we got people that probably you and I both follow who are working super hard on this. Sam Shoemate, Jordan Carr, giving a lot of respect to those two individuals. Jordan Carr, one of the nicest people in the world. They're during the inauguration, but she continues to fight because she was pushed out as an Air Force officer during the COVID thing. What do you see that's coming from the DoD in terms of bringing these individuals back? Because I think Sam said it. I don't know the exact number, but there's more than 8,000 individuals who are forced out.
Yes,
because their refusal to take the COVID vaccine, yep. And the DoD is now accepting these individuals back, but it's not with back pay. It's not with fucking back rank. It's not.
And they've had to have signed a document that stated that they were not coerced. That was the one you're talking about that Jordan posted online, and also I posted underneath her post about the flow chart, the COVID flow chart of the exemption. It's like they didn't want to fucking go by this flow chart because there was like so many fucking denials anyways for exemptions as it was. So, dude, that's a whole other fucking podcast.
No, it's not. We're here. Let's go. Let's do it.
Well, the whole thing is that there was a flow chart that came out that said for a vax exemption had to have gone through specific channels to go through whatever. Now, I know what I've seen is that according to the XORD that we posted as well, had to have had specific gates, gone through specific approvals. Well, there was commands that would not forward to the other approving authority. It's almost like a CSM holding your leave form, even though he's not the approving authority type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The same shit was happening with the fucking COVID exemptions, which take it or not, whether you support it or not, whatever. It just, if there's a process that a soldier is authorized to go through, then you allow that service member to exercise that fucking process. If you're not going to fucking do it, then that's what immediately got everyone like, what the fuck are you guys saying? I have an exemption, and why won't you fucking sign this exemption or push it forward? And there's probably also guidance from higher saying, we're not allowing these fucking exemptions. I don't give a fuck what's in their records. You know what I mean?
Where does that come from, though? Let's pull these letters back, because, and for those who don't understand, the man I'm talking to, he's not fucking like priority 4 got out of 10 years left. The dude's at the highest level from the senior enlisted side, and he's also very well connected with what still gets fed to him from the Army side. But like, my question is, where and how does that happen, and why? Why does that fucking happen? Why are we looking to punish soldiers and individuals for what? Like, what's the fucking benefit? What's the net benefit?
Well, I mean, the punishment was obviously at the time, before all the fuck, and it's kind of crazy. The punishment at the time was you not taking the fucking vaccine, you not following an order, blah 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 blah. Just
No,
like our
which as Sam Shoemaker pointed out, we're still trying to get DOD to mention that it was an
that's the thing about
unlawful order.
that's the
And
thing
we haven't got
because
it yet. Why?
and that's what I'm saying. We've not opened up the okay, not only was that who gave it or who made the decision, obviously between the EUA and what was going to be authorized to use, if it was because you could not mandate it under an EUA.
Yep. EUA,
And,
which is what? The emergency, what?
or is the emergency,
Yeah. Sam said this, but like people need to listen who don't listen to all the shit. They need to understand like there's a category for drugs which is Emergency Authorization Act, some shit to where like if you're in the military, for example, like you're getting this because of this.
yeah, it's emergency. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Hey, we're gonna grab you with this fucking shit. That was what's going on.
But that was the authority from the FDA side of the view that it was the emergency use authorization. And it was, again, it's funny. It's like you could literally go through. I mean, that's why we posted the COVID X-Words on US Army WTF Moments' timeline. You could see it. You'll see it for yourself on what was added and what was onto, and they've not come down. We've had fights with Facebook because every time we post something that had anything to do with the vax or anything to do with social distancing, Facebook was always tagging or trying to do the fact checking and all that on an Army order that we have published.
Why like did you ever get any response from Facebook as to why they're doing that? Like why they're running interference? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Really. No, not really.
It's your site, it's their site, whatever, but they don't know who the fuck the fucking Army is or the DOD. Like who are they?
Well, some of the substantiated returns for the appeal would be, well, this is an Army X word. This is an Army, this is an X word. This is, we fight it back and then they put it back up after admins reviewed, moderators have reviewed, and we deemed this thing good. Because all it was, we had to word it to make it seem like we were providing COVID information, and that's all we could say. We couldn't say it was an order. We couldn't say it was against. We just said we were providing COVID information. There was even a little, I think you can still see it on some of your Facebook pages for some of your posts. You can actually post, is this COVID information on some of this shit? And I think it was already fucking, didn't Mark Zuckerberg already fucking say that he was told by the administration to post?
Yeah. Like,
post anyway. So.
And everyone's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that whole, like I said, just go to WTF Moments' Facebook page, go to the search, type in X word or type in COVID, and you'll see this. You'll see the social distancing stuff. You'll see the.
How fucking wild would it be if, like, I go back, I say this, I'm like, what if we just lived in the 1950s? Like, do you think like any of these people could get away with the fucking shit we had back then, like in terms of reporting? Because look, I get it. Everyone's like, well, now we have instant reporting, whereas then it was like you had to wait till the next day or sometimes the next 2 days to know what was going on in the European theater for World War II. And it's like, maybe, but those motherfuckers did their job. I don't have that anymore because we have some weird fucking partisan system. Like, I don't know where that was created. I don't know if you have any insight onto where, like, we could probably drill back to where it was probably this year when that was created. But that's where we're at, and I don't give a fuck about any of that because I don't care. Because I know, I really don't care, dude. I'm being honest.
Well, we got more we got more shit of posting the COVID X words. Do you know why? Why we got a lot of shit from the military community? Is because it was posted and we left the COI markings up there. Not the information that was inside it, not the drama that was being created. It was Army, you better get that COVID shot or we're kicking you out. Also, Army, bad, you don't need that shot. You can come back in if you want. We posted that X word on January 5th of 2023. And it was literally that fucking commanders will immediately suspend the processing or initiation of any involuntary illicit separations. There was, and I think Jordan brought it up too. There were individuals that once that came out, they were still processing soldiers out. Even after there was a direct, and not the reason why we, again, not the information that we got shit for, is because the thing, and I'll drop it in the chats and I'll show you, is that the reason why is because it says CUI. And I'm like, really, dude? Really? You have major news organizations and outlets that post that shit to get the scoop, and you're gonna come after a Facebook page, a military-run Facebook page, or military-themed, Facebook page. You can't say military-run because the military is not official. Yeah. And so, God, dude, yeah, that whole fucking COVID thing. So again, going back to what I was saying, like, I had people are like, "Hey, why are you posting this stuff? Why am I posting this stuff? This is Army WTF moments." What do you expect?
Literally the definition of what?
Oh, fuck yeah, exactly. It's like we literally, because the whole gamut was. I mean, think about it. This was under the Biden administration as well, so it wasn't like it was fucking some sort of Trumpism.
No, exactly. Which is why I've always respected what the fuck you guys do. And like Sam and I talked about this when he was on a few weeks ago. It's like and there's always been this, because he was around. He was probably experiencing it around the same time I was, where it's like, we would look at your guys' site, and I'm going back to like probably 2016, 17, 18 time frame. Like, no fucking way this is real. There's no way it's real. And he was presenting it as like, dude, I've been in my entire life. I've seen nothing but what I've seen. And now I'm like crossing over to but I'm also looking back and it's like, wait a minute, is that true? And I remember being like senior NCO guy, like looking like, I mean, there were posts that you guys would have and like, that's fucking fake. I was like, what the fuck? How is that real?
Yeah.
How is that fucking? Yeah. And like, that's what is wild to me. And like, I love that you guys have done what you've done. Man, where are we at right now? Because we already talked about this. Like, there's so many things that fucking SecDef, like, bro, I get it. You're a SecDef. You have an Army background, but you have to worry about all the components. It's not just Army, right? But we've laid out where they can focus on. But where can we focus? Where can we focus to, and I hate to say this, but where can we focus, minimize, like, Army WTF posting like fucked up shit? All right, like, we're make it better, but at the expense of what you do.
We are under no, how do I say this? We have nobody overseeing us from any government on any administration telling us how to post. We actually work with other with actual like leaders will actually engage us. Hey man, there's some shit going on in my organization. This is going to come out of pipe. Can you help us on what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Cool. We'll help you out with that. We'll help you out with this, not to cover something up, but to bring an issue to light that you better fucking follow up on. Otherwise we're going to blast it. And that's what I think a lot of individuals, we post everything that's never going to change. The sanctity of the inbox, and we're gonna.
It's not a partisan thing, like, bro. This is fucking Army's what the fuck moments.
It's the Army thing, exactly. and that's another thing that people like will go with chain of command boards. That whole fucking drama there when we posted that shit.
Like that's
like the basic. This is the basic fucking Army respect thing that you could do, and you're making this a fucking bad hill to die on. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's the dumbest fucking hill to die on. Because all you do is then what? Put a target on your own command.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So,
and look, I've sent it like the first couple of weeks of January, post inauguration. I was sitting there at wherever I was, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Like I said, like, I got all these pictures in my email. I mean,
yeah, it's a matter of fact.
It's to print them up. Like, I'll print them up right now. Put them up. I don't. Yeah. I just want you guys to be in compliance because it's a new administration and everybody's got new people to fucking board, and this was never a fucking issue
Yep.
till
And it's
who you don't like is now in charge.
we don't know where to get the photos from. Literally every single
shit. I got the fucking photos. I'll send them to you right now. It's so fucking dumb.
well,
Dumbest argument and excuse I've ever heard, bro.
yeah, well, the biggest thing is that when somebody said, "Well, we can't print this out or we can't find them," what as soon as the official command photos came out, I think it was Reuters or the BBC posted, "Look at these pictures. One of them looks like his original mugshot, and look at Vance. Look at his picture." They posted the official portraits went out way before the official sites of the official portraits came out. So it's like, dude, don't use that fucking excuse with me in this digital age that you couldn't go like, well, here you go. Take down the Biden pick, take down the VP pick, take down Hegseth pick, or take down the old pick. All right, print it on a color printer. And who's got a color printer? Hey, can you print these out for me? Put it on an 8x811, bam, slap it back up in the frame, slap it back up. Where's the CSMs and all this shit? They're in charge of the colors. They're in charge of the fucking standards of the chain of command boards. Stop with this fucking bullshit hill to die on. Just fucking stop. Because all it's doing is showing your soldiers how petty you're being. You know what I mean? So,
no, and that is 100% true, because especially like maybe new soldiers, I would understand like what the fuck?
Yeah.
So have been around a little bit, maybe in an enlistment or two, like they know that shit gets changed instantly. It gets fucking changed at the company level when they get a new commander, first sergeant.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
No. Like that's
it's like putting your fucking boots on, dude. Everybody knows you're supposed to wear your boots. If all of a sudden you're walking around in fucking UFOs or Crocs, people are gonna be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you, dude? Put your fucking boots on."
Yeah. So no, I mean like and that goes back to what we were talking about a few hours ago.
Yeah.
Harold, fucking heraldry, bro. Like these are your leaders. You would
exactly
when they come aboard, you put their fucking picture up, and you sit there, and you're like, and I move the fuck on and go do what I need to fucking do. And I don't sit there and be like, oh well, actually, I don't like his opinion on fucking trans. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen. Let's just move on and let's fucking just keep going. And another thing too is because I got to go in like 5 minutes, dude.
Yeah, that's how you get 5 minutes, bro.
No, it's just like, bro, we've had good conversations, man. I can go another 6 hours, but no, it's the whole thing is like you were saying, the heraldry, bringing back traditions. What can we do to come back? Is have the SecDef come down and listen to the NCOs. Not the fucking and have different audiences, because I've done speaking engagements like that. I'm a retired fucking NCO that runs a fucking meme page, and when I do a speaking engagement on comms and stuff like that, I've done speaking engagements where I've had senior leaders. I tell them what they see. I talk to the Sorts, the mid grades, and then I talk to the Joes. Each one has a different, I guess you would say, theme or narrative to discuss. But I tell the Sorts, I tell the soldiers, you guys, some of this stuff, get your face out of the fucking TikTok and get in the fucking regs. So that way you arm yourself with the knowledge. Hey, Sarts, you fucking listen to when your soldiers are asking you a fucking question, listen. That's your time to shine. That's your time to fucking make a correction. I'm more focused on the NCO aspect of it anyway. So, damn, dude.
No, but it's right. It's absolutely great, and it's one of the things I neglected to talk about with you. But all right, so you heard Ken. He's very grumpy. He's a very grumpy former sergeant major. So this is what he does. He's got to go. So all right, this Ken Ramos, US Army What the Fuck Moments. You can find that account everywhere. If you need to blast something from your chain of command, find him, let him know. Do all those things. You can also find him on X at where?
At the IO Guy.
The IO Guy. He is the Grand Admiral of Propaganda. Thank you for your service. You're doing great.
You too, brother. You too.
I know. All right. All right, that's him. That's us. You'll see us. We'll throw this up later. All right.